This is the only way it could end.
Wow!
I fixed it. Hello, folks.
Hi, everyone!
Hello.
I even did a sound check, y'all. It's
Oh,
just Luke.
such. That was a slick intro as well. You summed
Really
up everything.
good.
Oh, it was
I
great.
have too much ADHD. All right.
You try again?
Well, you did get to read the captions, everyone, but we're gonna go again. We've got time. Let's do this. So, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Hollows campaign wrap up. We are so excited about this. We've got a lot of big feelings, and it's not the end. It's just the beginning. But this is what is sort of setting us to go forward. Everything that has been backed up until this point has given us the ability to make some really cool stuff, and we are going to talk about all of the cool things that have been unlocked in a little bit. We'll also talk about the last thing that may be unlocked, may even be unlocked while we're here, but if not, there is still time. So, thank you for being here with us. After we talk about that, we're going to talk a little bit about that 4-episode actual play that we all recorded together and had a great time doing, and many of you were there to watch. We're going to talk about what we liked about that, some things that were particularly interesting, and then when we finally physically leave your presence, we are going to air that final episode of the Sins of Grisham Priory AP that we recorded. Now, there is a backer train going, and I think there might be one right now. There has been for several hours. And that is a very special feature that Backerkit has enabled, where the campaign actually does not end until, I believe, 10 minutes after the last backer backs. Now, when we did Dagger in the Heart, we did a whole song and dance where we were going to play a game until it ended. And that was so much fun. But I liked it.
You weren't running it.
Yeah, sure.
I wasn't running it.
Yeah.
I was playing. So, no, that was hilarious and loads of fun. And I'm sure we'll do some nonsense stuff like that in the future as well. But this time we just kind of wanted to sit back and celebrate Hollows and celebrate all of the cool things that we've already all achieved together and talk about some of the things that are going forward. So, we will eventually leave you to the Sins of Grisham Priory, but for now, we're here to chat. Now, I have one more little agenda bit before I pass it on to someone else. Well, two. Two. One being my normal thank yous. Thank you, Grant, for being here. Thank you, Chant, for being here. Grant is a writer for Hollows. Chant is our producer, if any of you don't know. I also want to thank Sam Lamont, who made the beautiful logos over here, the faction symbols that I'm showing. I'm pretty, yep, this way. And the background as well, and much of the art for Hollows. Finally, last but not least, I think. No, alright, I'm going to fill some time because I forgot what I was going to say. So I also want to thank Ghost Stories Incorporated, who does the music that you have been listening to. I've been putting that in the chat, but it's worth saying out loud. It's some cool stuff. It has been the sound and the music that you've begun to associate with the narrative trailer, the gameplay trailer, and our actual play, as well as just any time we do a little stream here. So thank you to them. I still can't remember the other thing I was going to say, so undoubtedly I will go, oh, in the middle of someone else saying something, but all in all, thank you for being, I remembered. Thank you for being here, and toward the end we will have a Q&A, so if you have any questions, you can pop them in the chat at any time. If they're something we can get to quickly and easily about what we're talking about right now, we might just immediately answer it. Otherwise, I will be logging these inquiries for that Q&A section. So please feel free to ask us whatever you want, and we'll do our best to answer everything. That's everything for the second time. Welcome to the Hollows wrap-up stream. I'm gonna just pass it off to each person in turn just to kind of say hi and say whatever you want to say, and then we've got kind of a casual chat to open this up. So, Grant.
Hello. Hi. I've been writing Hollows for 3 years now. After we did Heart, Chris and I descended into our traditional post-project melancholy and depression. And we both decided that we'd write our own games. We went off in different directions to kind of get a break from Heart. And I ended up writing a game called Bubblegum Jungle, which, as keen fans have noticed, has not been released in any way because it was utterly soulless cyberpunk and didn't mean anything. And Chris started writing a game where we knew you had to have a revolver and you had to not die really. And then that one became Hollows. It's an evolution of a lot of things. We wanted to write a game about hunting big monsters. We've been trying to write a game about hunting big monsters for maybe 5 years, and trying to find a place to put it. But once we found out once Chris came up with the combat system and the sort of the entity-focused combat system, we really ought to come up with a cool name for that. The production rattled forward, and a scant 3 years later, here we are. 2 years? I don't know. It's been a while. But Hollows was and is a fairly big experiment, and it's not our usual sort of thing, and two, it's not the role-playing market's usual sort of thing. It's quite a weird game, and I'm really glad to see that it is made nearly £250,000 over the last month.
Importantly, that it has attracted the trust and faith of 2,700 and counting. Weird little sickos like us,
which is delightful. And the Discord, our Discord, our Rowan Rook and Decard Discord there's people chatting about it there every day. Someone's made a new weapon called the Beast. Which is kind of a Jekyll and Hyde thing, except Mr. Jekyll runs around independently. We've got people writing their own hollows and their own entities, and it's been fascinating to see, even with a limited amount of material that we've released so far, the enthusiasm that the community's put behind it. And I think there's something, what we really want to do with Hollows is create this world and create a combat system which is easy enough to understand, and then the fun part is making up your own bits. And I think that's already happening, which is great. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm enthused, and all I've got to do is write the rest of the book.
Someone has said, someone on YouTube has commented that they think the term for Hollows might be lightning in a bottle. And I also just want to, which is lovely, thank you so much. I also just want to mention that I have, under my personal Twitch, because I have that up too, so I can watch and make sure everything is working, I have dropped the link to our Discord. So if you are not a part of the community yet, you're very welcome, and we'd love to have you there.
Get in!
Yeah, come and join us.
It's fun.
Sometimes we talk about which weapon we think is sexiest, but also I know some
hang
people
on.
have already done that on other social media too.
Well, actually, that seems like an interesting thing for you to talk about, Jan, because I'm interested to see which weapon you think is sexiest, because I haven't made any of them sexy.
False.
And yet.
All right, sorry, CJ then. Sorry, what have you read in?
Oh no, you clearly have a strong sense for
All
this.
of them? No, I can't like any of... No, you can't think a weapon is sexy, right? It's toxic masculinity. Does that imply that you are drawn to toxic masculinity? There's sort of a really, like, psychologically
I
concerning
don't know, man.
element here.
Someone out there is fucking Andrew Tate, so...
It's popular for a reason.
Oh. Well, I know that I think some of the weapons are not sexy, that's for sure. Some of them have traits that I would not look for in a partner. Which you don't have to be... Never mind. We're going to get really, like, introspective here. I'm like, you don't have to look for someone in a partner to think they're sexy.
Yeah, that's true. But I do like them to have eyes, hands, skin, things like just little human things. Anyway, sorry, Chen, please.
Oh no, I just like them to gaslight me like the book, or fucking explode unpredictably in my face like the shotgun. Who doesn't want those things?
I feel like if I'm into anything, it's probably one of the things that's a firearm, which betrays some weird things about me. But what it really just betrays is that I fell in love with a gunslinger character once in an AP, and after that, I was completely doomed for the rest of my role-playing career. So that's all. That's all it actually is.
See, I just think that the firearms are fundamentally better because you can attach more stuff to them. And that's fashion, and what is fashion but a mating signal?
You could extend the barrel.
I just have to continue to share some of the really lovely things people are saying.
Please.
Thank you for changing the subject.
Yeah,
I worry it might not have been.
This time it has. But first I'll get out there and just say multiple people in Twitch have now commented grun. Thank you guys.
The secret 11th weapon, Grun.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know the story, I'll tell it very quickly. When we were creating the narrative trailer, we had lots of different video bits of the part where the gun is sort of moving around on the Ouija board, right? And we wanted to sort of show a further pulled away shot before we got into the Ouija board bit. We wanted to sort of I wanted to kind of bring it in slowly. And so originally in the first trial of this narrative trailer, you had the hunter poised in front of it, and then it zoomed in to the Ouija board and showed R-U-N. Unfortunately, the letter that the gun was positioned on when you had that further pull-out bit was G. So when I showed this to the team, they went, grun? And it's immortal now.
And you'd worked so hard on the trailer, and it was so cool. And it was a real sort of like, oh, was the Grink there? It was a real sort of...
And it was just sort of like a team chanting of grun, grun, grun. Like, not exactly, but effectively.
This is the Mauser, by the way, from the trailer. I'd like to talk a little bit about the trailer, actually, if we've got time to chat about that.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
First, I'm just going to impart the really, really lovely thing Kevin Scarth on YouTube has said, which is, been doing the RPG thing for a long, long time, and Hollows has captured my imagination in a way that reminds me of first discovering RPGs in the late 70s.
I'm really glad to hear that.
Thank you.
I think the closest thing I have, I think, to that. So I discovered RPGs fairly early in my life, but the first thing I found as a young man in England, the first thing I found was Games Workshop. And I remember walking into Games Workshop for the first time and seeing all of the like the Warhammer on one side, the 40k on the other side, and being like, oh, there's so many worlds here, I can poke around it. It was such an exciting electric thing. So I'm glad that we can evoke some of that. Anyway, this is the Mauser. Chris made this. Chris, who is not here on stream, he doesn't do live TV, and I respect that. Is
there a limit to how much we're allowed to point guns at the viewers on Twitch?
You know what? I did that once and was like, that seems rude. So I'm not pointing it into the camera anymore. Don't worry, it's not real.
It's not a real weapon, my friends.
It's not a real gun, and I don't think it even shoots BBs anymore after Chris has modified it. But he wanted to make it look like it was from the house. So he's bound some coins to it there, as you can see. He's drilled through a 2p piece. Which I believe is treason in this country, or it's definitely a crime. But my favourite thing about it is that he's wrapped wire around there, so it actually hurts to pull the trigger. Can't get it in without actually hurting your finger or automatically pulling the trigger, which I'm choosing to believe is art.
Yeah, that's a good characterization, actually, I think. So talking more about the trailer, I don't think it's much of a shock or surprise to anyone that I've based my Hollows AP character off of this hastily thrown together hunter that I played in the trailer.
Off a wig you had.
Well, yeah, I mean, and the outfit.
That's true.
Which is
mostly... That's already more complex character generation than I usually do.
Yeah, that's very true.
Which was most of the things that I wore as that nameless hunter in the AP. Narrative trailer, are things I don't wear every day. But the jacket's just my jacket. I wore that jacket just out and about in Germany and took some pictures, and everyone on the team was like, so you're bringing that? And I was like, yeah, that's fair. So, gosh, the narrative trailer was a bunch of fun to make, actually, wasn't it, Grant? And I'm so pleased to discover in retrospect that it delivered the sort of thing and message and idea that we were hoping to, because we were really taking a bit of a risk with that, just because it's something not a lot of people do.
And possibly for good reason, but I think that we've proved them wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it takes a certain amount of time, energy, resources, effort, forethought, etc., that depending on the size... So we're not... I mean, most of you already know, we're not a huge company. We're 11 people. But if you think about three folks putting together a project and putting it out there, it's certainly doable, but that's a lot. There's already so much going into a backer or Kickstarter campaign that, so we were lucky, poor Chant, Chant's in the background moving bits around, getting ready for the Backerkit, and Grant and I are running around a fucking manor house in Yorkshire.
I had been at RRD for about 2 months when one of these lunatics, and I don't remember which, said, "What if we did a live-action trailer?"
CJ.
Ducking all responsibility there. When
Yeah,
CJ,
absolutely.
who has ambition and no fear as far as I can tell, said,
And a great coat.
Thank
and
you.
a fantastic coat.
It's the coat.
What if we just made a movie? Like, what if we just made the Netflix trailer for this game? And I went, I think you're going to die if you try to do this, in addition to all of the other cool shit that both of you are trying to do, but go ahead. I trust you. And it turns out that these two can back it up.
Yeah, we like so like we had a great photographer, a great cameraman, James Shaw, who took all of our product shots for the website, where I huffed vape over copies of the books. But he was up for this, and he was enthused, and he didn't think it was too weird. I think I really enjoyed the bit where so we realised we're not actors, me and CJ, and we also are the customer service, community and marketing rep and writer on the project. So it's going to look a bit weird if we're in the thing. So we'll be like, well, we're never going to show our faces, which means we don't have to act. And I think like we'd just been styling it out, and like there's this quite dramatic scene where the boy hunter, where I hand CJ a gun, and James was like, yeah, it doesn't. I need you to act a little bit. And he was only filming our hands, so the gun across. He's like, it doesn't look exciting at all. You need to sort of
You need to put some emotion behind it.
Did you immediately forget how humans behave when?
Oh my! Instantly.
Yeah.
Instantly. I had no clue. I didn't know where to look. I didn't know how to stand. No idea. I don't look like a real person on camera, which is fascinating. Usually just tape together a bunch of cats.
Yeah.
Even in my sort of previous life, as I did musical theatre, I did some acting, things like that.
Oh god, sorry, CJ cat act. Sorry.
But this is notable, right? I have always been the sort of person who will match whatever energy's in the room, for better or for worse.
Just matched feckless.
Well, and there's also the additional layer that you sort of brushed over briefly of we have a sort of stake in this project, right? We're not just actors being brought in to do a thing and call it a day, and we also have to look each other in the eyes the next day. So there were
On the drive home.
so there were a number of things that I had written down there were a number of shots I had written down that I would really like back when we were imagining this as two hired actors who did not know each other and did not know us. And all of a sudden I had to go back through that scene list and go, nope.
Some of the blindfolding is maybe playing a bit erotic, and we can't do that. Yeah, so we had to reel.
I like to think there was a 40-second scene where you just gazed deep into each other's eyes and repeated a word.
Oh, I actually, Chan, better than that. There was a minute-long scene where we had a gun at each other's throat.
Which was just about the most that we could justify even seeing how awkward it looked like.
Sure, okay, fine. And we were like, well, one, we've got to get our faces in there, and the pair of us were standing there for a while. I think we lost, and also CJ's much shorter than me, so that was kind of like down there. And yeah, we lasted for 30 seconds, and then we also was like. Don't save this footage and don't do this again. This didn't function. We cannot with each other.
I assume James has got the footage.
I have the footage.
All right, we promised you a Hollows podcast. We're now going to do a Hollows outtakes video.
No.
Someone just said news just in, acting isn't just in the face.
Yeah.
Look. So it's one of those things that let's pretend we were in, and some of the best ways to achieve something cool, and this is also just kind of like an acting tip sometimes, is shoot for the moon, because your director or your project manager can always go, what the fuck, and pull you back. If you're not doing enough, it's harder to pull up than it is to pull back. And this was the approach that I took when I pitched this video. I was like, in some world where we are somehow a multi-million, pound company that's still functions ethically, we're just going to pretend we live in a world where that could be a thing that happened. We would have done a full, Netflix-style trailer, and the two actors would have had amazing chemistry, and there would have been this, pan-up shot of them holding daggers to each other's throats, but we did what we could, and I'm really happy with how it turned out.
And we still have a strong professional relationship.
Yeah, and we didn't make anything too weird, so really there was a win on both sides.
Fantastic way to bond with your boss, though.
Absolutely, and plus it was really fun to go to. So there was this manor house. I forget the name of it. And full disclosure, folks, I don't think they knew we were supposed to be there. I just sort of walked in and they nodded, and no one's contacted me about the bill at any point. I don't think there's any record of what happened there. And so we effectively illegally walked into a manor house and started setting up improvised occult rituals just in a room, while noteworthy members of the South Yorkshire Firemen's Union came in and were like, what's going on here? And we're actively lighting candles and pouring blood on skulls. It's like, oh, it's for a book.
Yeah. It's for a book we're making.
Which does sound like the worst.
These swords are for a book.
Lucy has just said, from what I hear, the waiter was very confused too, which is absolutely true. We went to have a bit of lunch, but the little pub place that they have there was chalk, so they said, oh, we'll bring it in to you. And we're sitting there kind of planning our next scene.
In full costume, covered in guns.
Yep, in full costume, covered in guns, and this fully dressed, almost, I would say, black tie sort of waiter, right? He was quite fancy, if I remember correctly.
23 if he was a day.
Yeah, walks in with a tray of food and just walks into this massive Ouija board and just sets it down and is like... and just goes.
Got us some knives and forks. No!
It was a really unique, fun experience, and I hope there's a way we can justify doing something like that again. And I think from the way that the community has received it, I think that when it is right for a project, we could do something like this again. So
I also want to celebrate Elaine's trailer, which she cut together for the gameplay stuff. In that we knew we wanted to have a gameplay trailer. And we didn't. I had kind of a rough script, which I put in, and then Elaine rewrote the whole script, and then shot the video and cut it together, and it's come out real smooth. There's some CGI there from Sam, who did this CGI stuff in the trailer, in the narrative trailer as well. But it looks proper swish, like an actual video.
I've done it, cool. And it's not just a gameplay trailer, by the way. I would wager, not a vast sum of money, not like my life savings, but I would wager significant money that you could learn how to play Hollows from watching that trailer. That 10-minute video.
Yeah, you could get further in, yeah.
And if you are interested in that trailer, so these trailers that we've been, chatting about, the first one is going to show before the AP today, and the gameplay trailer will show after the AP. So you
can learn about the game after you watched it for an hour and a half.
Exactly. If there is a situation where you are joining us and you still haven't seen the narrative and gameplay trailers and you would like to, they're there. We've had a lot of lovely and at least some half-serious comments saying, release the James cut, show us all of the footage. No, but thank you for your interest.
Don't worry, I hear you.
Should we be live on Backerkit now?
We should be, are we not?
Nah.
Oh dear.
Crying out loud.
That's alright.
You can see what's happened to the streaming. Come to Twitch, folks. It's just as much fun.
We've got 40 folks chilling in Twitch. And,
great, fantastic.
A few more folks likely chilling in YouTube. I'm not looking at those numbers, but we'll see if we can get that up on the Backerkit page for you all.
Yeah, no, I think that it's set to automatically live stream.
Oh, it says
at
it'll
2
be
minutes
live
to
in
4.
20 minutes. Yeah, that's weird. Okay.
which is very. Here's a fun little thing, viewers. Backerkit have managed to invent an entirely new time zone, which is both West Coast America and GMT, but also neither. I think they have some sort of obsidian sundial underneath their offices, how they make time work. But it's been an ongoing challenge to try and work out when you input a time, what the fuck is going to come out.
Yeah. Well, it's never the same thing twice.
No.
Thank you for catching that, though.
That's okay.
Okay, it might now be starting in the next 30 seconds.
Okay,
Ooh,
I'll
see
keep
if
an
that
eye on it,
works.
and if it goes live, we can say hello to people again.
Fun, won't it?
Gorgeous.
Yeah, we're live.
We are
Oh,
great,
brilliant.
wonderful, exciting.
We are
We
live.
are.
Hello, Backerkit. Welcome to the party. Sorry we've brought you in a little bit late. The time works strangely in the hollows.
You have to say it in the voice. Time works strangely in the hollows.
That was nowhere near Yorkshire enough.
We are here celebrating the wrap-up of Hollows, of the Hollows Backerkit, at least. Not the wrap-up of Hollows. And I think this is an excellent time to kind of segue into what it is that we've achieved so far as these stretch goals. That's the word I'm looking for. Stretch goals, and what we are barreling toward as far as the the last stretch goal. I have the Hollows page up so many times. There we go. We are currently at £247,856.
Yeah, about $2,000 off.
We are about $2,000 off the final stretch goal. So we may yet get y'all this these last two Hollows. But let's start at the beginning. What is the first thing that we unlocked?
I think we should do this out of order.
Okay.
Because one thing we unlocked and then we sort of came back to and kept unlocking more and more and more of. So I think we should start from the smallest thing, which is also one of the prettiest things, which is our metal challenge coin, which you'll be able to use as an entity token. And it is a big, shiny, enameled red, green, gold beast of a thing that you can slap down in the middle of the tactical grid. And mildly terrify your players with, because our entity, affectionately known by me as Mr. Bitey, is cute on wood, and he's lovely on wood, and he's full of eyes and teeth. But when he is a snarling metal monstrosity, he's even better. It's my boy.
I am going to see if I can grab a little image of that and pop it up for you all, but let's yeah.
Plus, I guess in metal it doubles as a letter opener. Once you take out the bleeding token. Before we go on much along with the stretch goals, we've got it rigged up so there's a physical stretch goal tier, right? So that's become significantly better over the course of the campaign.
Oh, that has gone from, all right, we trust you lads, to oh fuck, that's a bargain.
Yeah,
it is the conclave level, and it is 200 quid all in. If we're making it, you're getting it. Except for some faction pins, which was a very confusing decision that I made. If we're making it, apart from 4 enamel faction pins, you're getting it if you pay for the conclave tier.
So we've got the letter opener / challenge coin.
We've got the podcast where we lock Grant and Chris and Maz, who is kind of head of product, kind of head of business, head of making us money at RRD, in a room somewhere. Give them a lot of vodka, and I think we've now got enough budget for like 2 or even 3 bottles of vodka. And they tell us everything that was hard and heartbreaking, but also fun and satisfying and enriching about making Hollows. And also why.
If those of you who have listened to the RRD, well, so there is an RRD SoundCloud, which we don't promote or post to, but a couple of years ago we posted director's commentaries of Heart and Spire, going through chapter by chapter. I don't think this one's going to be as exhaustive, because it was quite inside baseball. But if you are interested in hearing how the sausage is made, they're quite good. They come recommended, and Chris and I have a good energy. And we weren't drinking a lot of vodka for those. Now, the Unbound director's commentary, we had so much vodka we couldn't release it because we kept making up different theme songs.
Yes, I'm putting it on the list with a shortcut. Don't worry.
So, I will pull us back for just a second in that what is the beautiful image that is currently covering my face because I did not make room for it in the layout is that challenge coin. Gosh, it's gorgeous. Love it. Just wanted to actually physically show you all that because it is just beautiful. Mr. Bitey here in person. That is also what I have named the file. So, yeah.
Thank you. We are going to make this a thing.
Just wanted to show you that before I reappear. But yeah, that thing. Oh, and I think you might have said this already, Chant, but you can replace the entity token in your game with this challenge coin, can you not?
You can.
That's the scheme. Or indeed any miniature you have.
True.
And speaking as a man whose office is covered in monstrosities, thankfully CJ's very cleverly cropped the window down so you can't see the half-finished projects covering my walls, my office. But it's a nice excuse to use all of your horrible gribblers. Or if you've backed, I don't know, that Bloodborne thing, which Awakened Realms put out and had a lot of really suitable Hollow-style miniatures. You could use them if you want. It's not an official partnership. They don't need the money.
But they have got all the nasty gribblers that you could ever want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when people have asked, why aren't you doing minis for Hollows? One of our answers is, because the monsters are too weird, right? And every Hollows monster is going to be different. And the other one is, come on, you know you've got 30 pounds of plastic crap sitting unpainted in your room. Use it.
And I will say, like we did a lot of we did a lot of looking into whether or not we could get miniatures because it's a tactical game, and so you do like the physical element of stuff is quite an important thing. But the problem is every hunter has 2 weapons, and so we needed to have one for each faction, effectively doing this, and then different hands you could stick on. And there's no way you can make that look good if one of them's a rifle.
Now multiply this by several genders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we decided to just use representative chess pieces instead.
Okay, but let me pitch you Lego partnership.
The brands are almost perfectly
Almost
aligned.
anonymous, yeah.
Yeah. So we've got the challenge coin. We've got the podcast. What else are we talking about here?
Then we said, we are making a box with 200 playing pieces in. But are the individual playing pieces beautiful enough? And we looked at them and we said, they could be more beautiful. So then we did that. And that is how we got Sam Lamont's 3 or 4 new designs for the tactical grid, which is honestly now one of my favorite things in that set, which has got slightly redesigned combined faction logos on, and has got a screaming face in the middle of it, and has got skulls and trees and gravestones and trees that progress into gravestones as your doom increases, and generally looks like something that a hunter with a slightly cracked grasp on reality scribbled together in the refuge on like the 3rd or 4th attempt to fight the same monster.
Alright, lads, I've got a plan.
Yeah.
Now, the 3 of you are going to die on round 2, but it's going to be perfect.
Call me out again, God. Yeah, so we're doing that. We are adding some more colour to the component kit as well, to the various individual tokens, which Mina, our layout and graphic design maven, has pulled from like natural wood dye palettes. So again, it's all going to feel very much like something that your hunter could have put together in a desperate attempt to tackle horror with strategy, instead of just swinging a gun towards it. We're redesigning our bullets because we just figure that you can't have hollows without having some kind of weapon on the table. So all of your weapons use little bullet-shaped capacity counters. Sorry, all of your firearms use bullet-shaped capacity counters. And we are redesigning those to look slightly more menacing than they currently do, because that's the vibe that we want for our physical kits. Threatening.
Unsettling.
That's the theme, yeah.
We're going to make them sharp, too. So, like, no, we're not going to make them sharp.
Oh.
Everything's going to be perfectly safe.
Yes.
Don't eat it, mind, if you're a child.
Don't eat it if you're an adult.
Oh, if you're an adult, you can
go
eat it.
much
That's fine.
If you're an adult, I guess it's your own choice.
If you eat over half a Hollows campaign kit, I'll give you a free reroll.
No. So, briefly, I'm gonna go ahead and pop in here real quick if it decides to show up. Are we gonna show up, bud? No, we're not. I was gonna show you guys the tactical grid, but it's not loading. So, the new one, the one that Sam redesigned. It's
But
really
it is in the AP coming after this.
It is
thing.
in
We
the AP, so
updated
you will
the
get to
thing, so
see
you can
it.
see it there.
That's true. That's true. I actually I have one more shout in that I might be able to just get this to work, and if it does, we will have it up right about now. There it is. I'm gonna spread it out so you can really, well, maybe not that far out because the quality of the download that I did was not good enough for that. There you go. So covering our faces briefly, you can see the new layout for the tactical grid. If you haven't seen it yet, it's very cool. You can see it also in some of our like update emails, and I'm sure that some of these cool pictures will be able to get out to you in various shapes and forms as the as things go on. But gosh, look at that, it's gorgeous.
And if everything goes well, and we haven't quite confirmed that we can do this, but if everything goes well, we are going to print it on red fabric that is very, very similar to what the Crown use for their soldiers' uniforms. So you can simply pretend that someone sheared it off the back of their like bullet marked and cut up uniform jacket and drew on it. That's the hope.
I'm crossing my fingers for that. That's going to be very cool.
It'd be nice
So,
if it was up there.
what's behind door number 3, Chad?
So, some people, and I don't know if you know this, fellow like people of the internet, some people don't play their games like in person together. Some people play them on a website, I
don't know about
believe,
that.
with a computer. So for those,
What,
people,
like Sonic the Hedgehog, you mean?
yeah.
Or Super Mario Brothers?
Yes, that thing about the plumbers. It's one
Oh,
of those. Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sure. I
Very,
know
very
that.
similar business. Yeah.
Bleeps and bloops. A VTT.
Guys, if you manage to create a fast hedgehog for Hollows, do please tag me on Twitter. I would like to see that in any form. So we've made a virtual tabletop for the people of the internet, like myself, who only have friends at the safe distance of another continent. So they will also be able to play Hollows with all of the cool bits and pieces and all of the rules coded in, we hope. And maybe like, theme music and fun art that you can pull up while you're playing.
It's going to be so
We haven't got a picture of that, though.
We do
No,
not.
yeah,
I have nothing to show you
it's
on
all
that.
purely theoretical at the moment. But you could just imagine this, but it's on a screen, so it's already there.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, just this.
Maybe a lighting effect.
And we got some Hollows, right?
Yeah, we made a couple of Hollows.
Mm.
We did. How many Hollows have we made so far?
I also want to stress, dear viewer, that we are aware that it's difficult. The name for Adventures is also the name of the core system, and we haven't fixed that problem.
I don't think we have any intention of fixing that problem. At some point, we'll all
there
just
was a
get used
discussion
to
about it, and just work it out. Yeah, this is a Hollow for Hollow.
Yeah.
Before we
How many
jump into
hollows?
this,
Oh.
I do just want to say, first off, you guys are so cool and amazing. Thank you for participating in the chat, and thank you for all the support you've been giving us. And on that exact note, we are at £148,890, which means we are, £1,110 away from the final stretch goal.
Yeah, I imagine we'll hit that.
94 people on the backer train.
Whoa,
That
that's
is,
a packed
for the
old
record,
train.
That's 12 new pledges, right? At the level where you get a book and the components, or 12 people upgrading from that level to the everything.
We've
Conclave
already just
pledge.
passed 249.
Oh
we
my
have,
God.
We have £900 left before we get that final stretch goal. Y'all are wild.
Are you sure we
Thank
can
you.
do it?
Choo.
So, sorry
Hollows.
to cut you off. Would love to hear more about these Hollows, Chant. Just wanted to celebrate what is currently happening on
That is
Backerkit.
wild. That is genuinely wild. Like, just last night I was reassuring authors that I was confident that we would hit the stretch goal and they would be able to make their Hollow. And I was lying to them. But, well, in
That's what we
hindsight,
heard
it's
you, Sam.
true. It's what producers are for. Spreadsheet management and lying with a smile. I used to work in marketing, everybody. This is familiar territory. We're making Hollows. We are making individual scenarios for Hollows. And we're doing this partly so that we can hire all of the really cool writers and artists that we love working with and let them get really fucking weird about Hollows and their own personal psychological trauma displaced into a big monster you can smash with a stick. But we're also doing this because the more examples of hollows we give you, the more hollows you will be able to go and build for yourself. Because there's a really cool chapter in the core book by Grant and Chris about how to build a hollow, and how to build an entity, how to make it both upsetting and emotionally resonant, and also lethal, which can be a hard balance to strike, unless you've got very specific gaming history. So that exists, but we're making as stretch goals 7, imminently 9 examples of how you do this in practice. And we've got Kieran Gillen talking about the future of warfare and the absolute Dominion horror of trench warfare in hollows. I imagine there are going to be some very big guns to fight.
Well, we've like, when you gave me that brief last year, I immediately wrote the entity. So like I think we've already fought the gunner on stream, but yeah, he's got a reload mechanic. It's quite cool.
Oh, that was one of my
it was
favourite
vicious.
ones.
Yeah, it was horrible, wasn't he? Yeah, it was great.
It's horrendous. I love that entity.
What else we got?
So that lad'll be back. Kieran is working with, because we've got amazing artists as well. I'm about to send CJ into a spin of desperately finding people's Instagrams, I think. Kieran is working with Daniel Vega, who did some of the art for the Hollows playtest documents, for those who've been with us for a really long time.
Quick start.
He did. Yes, he did also do the quick start, so there is a better chance that you've seen Daniel's art. Good. We're also doing a probably quite distressing fairy tale, which Chris, one of our Hollows writers, is working on with Letty Wilson. Now, Chris has been pretty cagey about what's in this hollow, right? And basically we've reached the point where I ask him about it and he yells, "Steals your teeth!" at me down a Discord call. So that's all I know. I hope you're into that, because
if anyone
tutelary dentistry's coming for you.
If anyone did see the playtest, so we put out a playtest book, almost 2 years ago now, a year and a half ago, and it had 2 hollows in it, and there was Steel City, which I wrote about capitalism and toxic masculinity, and about like overthrowing the people in power, and Chris wrote a terribly sad story about a dead woman and her dead kid, and so I think Chris's is probably going to be closer to the second one.
But also with some really quite upsetting imagery, because Letty Wilson, Toadlet, on their socials, draws some phenomenal, horrible little guys. So I think we are going to see a lot of horrible little guys. And I think that means we're going to get some probably implied world building, right, about what some of the folk beliefs of the Isles are, just as it happens. That's one of the things I'm most excited about with these hollows, right, is all of the like implicit story about the Isles and the people who live there and the sort of things that they do when they're not hunting monsters. We're going to see a lot of that in, really dark and corrupted ways that have ruined their life, but we're going to see it nonetheless.
And you will see it while you're hunting monsters. I can't stress this enough.
Yeah, the hunting monsters is not an option.
It's non-negotiable.
Although our third hollow, I think, has a school kid as the Lord. So I think perhaps that's going to be one where you might want to rescue the Lord instead of murdering
J
them.
Dragons, right?
That is J Dragons. J Dragon has tapped into the peculiarly British seam of rot that is boarding schools. And I don't know anybody who's gone to a boarding school who doesn't still have nightmares about it, but that may be because of the kind of people I know rather than boarding schools.
Fucking wretched business. Can't recommend against it enough.
And we've teamed Jay, whose idea is already nasty enough that it's probably going to haunt me for a long time, with Johan Noor from Mudborg. This is going to be one of the most...
Where else are you going to mash those two together?
Right? What a kick in the face this hollow is going to be. Respectful. So I'm really, really excited for that, and I know that a lot of you are as well. And when we decided we were doing 3 hollows, when we thought, right, we've got 3 pamphlets, we thought this is the point where we can't just throw little books at you, just wing them out at you, like out of a t-shirt cannon. So they are now in a really pretty presentation box, which looks, well, with a bit of luck, it's going to be gilded, and it's going to have little magnets in, and it's going to look and feel like a little wooden dossier that the Conclave have given you, like a top secret file that we are calling A Survey of Unreal Places, Their Topography and Their Denizens, Wretched Domains. So it is an entire collection of atlases for nightmare worlds. That's how we're styling this thing. And Mina is very excited to work on this, because this is where Mina, who is usually fairly sensible in her layout and makes things that are like very clean and functional and readable. Yeah, this is where Mina gets to get fucking weird.
Oh, good.
And it's gonna be awesome. And that is less than half of our hollows, because after that, right, Mina's gonna do her own hollow, and she's gonna do that with Carly AF, who does just gorgeous punk neon.
Like dreamscape stuff.
Dreamscape art
Yeah.
is beautiful. I was hoping I would have some on the wall behind me, but I hung some yesterday and it ripped the hook out of the wall and smashed the frame.
Too
instead.
powerful to hang on walls.
I know, yeah. Carly transcends 3D space.
That's okay.
She can only be safely viewed online.
We've been dropping the links to all of the books you've messaged into the chat, so if you want to check any of these artists or writers out yourself, you can.
And Mina's hollow that will be illustrated in this stunning fashion is called the Polychromic Sea, and it's sort of like if the Bloomsbury set of artists, so this sort of very avant-garde, cliquey, insular, quite self-satisfied, frankly, probably also very queer, circle of artists just turned on each other and devoured each other like rats, and then the one survivor blossomed into a hollow that you could explore in like a genuinely beautiful but unsettling sort of dreamscape to fix that problem.
I'm really excited to see what that says about art.
Yeah, so am I. Right? Like, what are the big art movements of the last 20 or 30 years in the Isles? Like, there's a lot to say there.
We should have had a fashion hollow. I mean,
So,
I should fit it in.
We haven't finished the art yet. I mean, we can do...
£86 away from that.
Oh yeah, we'll make it. We've got 9 minutes. We'll make it.
No, this is where 300 people cancel their pledges and go, ha ha, psych!
Oh wow, y'all! This is it. It was ticking down for like just a minute, where it was like in the chat, people were chatting down like 400 quid to go, 100 quid to go, 90 quid to go.
Yeah, we'll get there.
This is awesome, everyone. Thank you. We'll get on to I think we'll chat just a little bit more about this, given we've got about 9 minutes until 4, and then we'll talk a little bit afterward about the AP and do the Q&As, and then we'll send you off to the to that final episode of the AP. But do we have any other things to say about the stretch goals? Or I can also just say I have some questions I can fire off now for the next couple of minutes, if it pleases you.
I do just want to say that the partner to Mina's Art and High Society hollow is the Grand Isles exhibition, which is like Crystal Palace / fucked up fairground, and it's going to tell us all about engineering and technology and ambition in the Isles, and it's by Cassandra Core, you know, that one who writes the books, like the actual novels. She's going to write a hollow for us.
I don't know how we got her. I'm really, because like there's no need for her to come and like to slum it down here in games. But
she didn't
I'm
have
very
to
excited.
do this.
Oh, it's cracking as well. Like the story she's pitched is the entire exhibition was the work of one incredibly overworked woman, and her husband's taken all the credit. And those are the main two entities.
Yes.
It's quite exciting.
Yes. I am very sold on this. And then we are also doing...
oh, we've done it. We've passed the thing.
Oh, shit. Well done, everyone.
Good work.
Hey, everyone thank you so much.
Clap at home.
Woo!
Yeah, we're making the we're making the last 2 hollows.
We're making the last 2 hollows.
Every single goal that has been put down.
11.
Wow.
Do you know what the best part of that is? Hollow number 8 by Eleanor Hingley is about a posho who stabbed his brother and hollowed. A proper dissolute rake of a man who has now become his worst possible self. And he's not only Eleanor's player character, a hunter who has hollowed. He's from the first hollow session that I ever ran. So this is it. This is the family story.
Oh, fantastic.
Wow. Oh, and that's before the campaign even wraps. You all have been...
Delightful.
Thank you for just supporting us this whole way. This has been amazing. We have 103 people on the backer train and 9 minutes left on that.
Is that a train? That's a truck, isn't it?
I thought it was a bus, maybe. The backer bus.
All of them. All of the things. The backer moving entity. I don't know, it's got to stay a train, right? Like,
Yeah,
that's
it's
just
a train.
thematic
Yeah.
for us. And wow, no, major,
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, cheers.
Holy
folks.
shit.
very
Ah,
cool
that's good.
stuff. So I will I'll take I think I'm going to use this moment to take a little bit of mental load off of it while we all just stare blankly at the accomplished goal, and ask a few questions that I've been saving up from the chat now.
Cool.
Please.
We can do some more after we chat about the AP, but let's just take a little break, and that way we're making sure folks that asked the questions are still present when they're getting answered. Now, I'm not sure if I unfortunately didn't write down who asked this. Apologies, and I'm not sure if they mean monetary or just like physical. But someone has said, what's the approximate value from Crown Plus to Conclave? And I think at the very least we could maybe highlight what the difference between the two are, if that's possible, Jen.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is probably for me to list the things that are in it and then try to figure out how much those cost. Because it's good value, is all I'm saying. Let me get down here. So at the crown level, you get the... Come on, pledge levels. I've forgotten everything about Hollows except that we have to make it, which is incredible. So, £100 you get is the temple level, and you get the core book PDF, you get the standard edition of Hollows, and you get the component kit. And that's real pretty, right? But if you get the Conclave, which costs you £100 more, you get the special edition, you get the component kit, and you get them in a slipcase, which you do not get at that lower level. It's a really pretty slipcase as well. Mina has again done some pretty unusual, unexpected design on it. You get a printed copy of every Hollows scenario in that presentation box that we talked about. You get a physical copy of the Sins of Grisham Priory Quick Start, and you also get everything else that we've talked about. You get the challenge coin, you get the VTT access. I think that's everything, because everybody is getting the podcast, right? Because we don't have to ship that, so you can all just have that. Lucky you. So that is an extra sort of 55 quid value on the books, £50 on the component set, 35 on the VTT, 15 on Grisham Priory, 12 on the challenge coin. It's a value of, I think, if I've done my maths right, at least 280 quid.
And
Please don't quote me on that.
If you buy it, you're basically making money at this point.
Pretty much, yeah.
I have popped once again over my face. I have popped that slipcase prototype up, which is just gorgeous.
Pretty swash.
Oh, I love it. This is and you can kind of see the binding of the special edition as well. And I'll really quick share the special edition on there as well. But you can, these are pictures that you can readily access. So if you don't see them now, they're elsewhere.
You can scroll down.
Yep, there we go. And that's the first mock-up of the special edition, which has that sort of four-faction thing and potentially an unfoiling, sort of, I think we're thinking. So,
Yeah.
Gorgeous stuff.
Eat the Reich taught us a lot about it's important to make books very nice. And so we're going to try and make them very nice.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah,
Man,
well, I'm sorry,
jumps over all the
not
manuscript
as
and
produced. I don't think we're doing French folds and glow in the dark on these ones, but we'll see. We'll see.
We might do something else, to be honest. Like, we're already working on a cool verdigris effect for the special edition, and that is harder than you would think on book cloth, chat.
That's fair.
Trust me on this.
Oh, I love a bit of verdigris.
And
Also, I think I might have been wrong. I think the Crown Pledge is worth about 250. Anyway, it's still good value, is the thing.
Buy it.
Buy it. Buy it.
so-
Go on, have it. Go on, it'd be nice.
just a fun bit of maths. We're 300. We're probably a little bit over now, but at the time of someone doing the maths, we're 333% funded.
Woo! I like that.
Half a beast.
So thank you for the answer to that question, Chant. The next one, we have some more sort of narrative questions, which the short version of the answers to these are, yes, there will be more in the book, but let's let Grant answer it a little more in depth. So the first question is, one thing I've been, and this is Hive Mind Rock, one thing I've been interested in learning more about is the Isles itself. I know it's basically England's sad edition, but do we get a map of the Isles and anything on faction history in the book?
Yes. Oh God, sorry, I just pulled my microphone. Yes, we will get. So one thing which we're really keen to avoid, and one thing which I find really challenging in role-playing books, is when you open it up and you turn the first page and it's got a double-page spread of shit which happened 4,000 years ago when the elves ascended to Corellon, and it doesn't really matter now. So while we are talking about the history of the Isles, I'm much more interested in saying what the current situation is with these factions going together. The factions which we've represented are the Crown, the House, who's kind of the House of Parliament, the Temple, who are a burgeoning, quite successful garden church, and the Conclave, who are a bunch of moody weirdos and mystics. And these, we focused on these because these are the factions who are interested in Hollows and either the effects of Hollows upon the populace, or in the Conclave's example, just going in there and stealing as much as they can and then keeping it in a big chest. In terms of the actual, in terms of the history of the Isles, in terms of what people do day to day in the Isles, there is a fiction chapter, but primarily what we've tried to do is take that and work it back through and fold that back in. So, a lot of that's coming in character generation. And so when you pick the faction, which I will say as well, the faction you picked doesn't. It's what's most important to you or what's done the most harm to you, not necessarily whose side you're on. So one of the, within the Crown origin, one of the things you can pick is someone who worked in a massive household and someone who is a sworn Republican and wants to destroy the monarchy. But that's because the Crown's the most important thing to you, so you can have that there.
I think. Sorry to jump in, but I think there's
please.
another element to that, right? In that, because they're the people that you're most wrapped up in, they are the people who have the most leverage over you. So if you as a GM need to use the factions to drive story, that 100% works, whether the characters want to associate with them or not.
One thing we're actually not naming any other countries. Because we thought, well, I guess we could try this. And we went around, and there's definitely at least one ongoing war. I think the Isles is canonically at war on two fronts at the time of Hollows. But we figured actually, no, it's just the war, and it's happened over there, and it's getting increasingly trenchy. But it's the war, and you come back from the war, and we're focusing on the Isles, and we've got a little box out saying if you want a France analog, yeah, there's one. But it's much more this is the idea of this place which is breaking down. The other thing which we haven't really mentioned in any of the fiction is that Hollows are a new thing. Hollows are not this sort of ancient, ongoing thing which has been plaguing humanity for years. Within the fiction of the book, the previous religion of the Isles, which is something which we called it's worshippers or priests are called Watchers, and the idea is that the gods are always watching and fucking hate you, and so every church is basically a Faraday cage for God, so you can go in and get married without God seeing, and then within through a series of mystic and social changes, the Isles killed their gods. And it turns out the gods were running effectively a divine protection racket, or you know how when you put out mealworms and the magpies come down, they're like, fuck off! The gods were doing that to the Isles. And so we killed the magpies, and now everything's coming in. And so we wanted to have the idea that the Hollows are this new thing which not everyone understands, and are an unusual thing to explore rather than this great tradition. And that's kind of fun, because we haven't really played with new magic in a way like that, aside from I think maybe the Inksmith and Spire, but that's really more talking. That's just Chris and I trying to get our noir socks off, rocks off. That's the one. I'm wearing noir socks. I'm not going to take them off.
It's pre-watershed. We only take our socks off. Thank you.
Very good, very good. Hays Code.
And
hopefully that answers the question.
Someone has reminded that Backerkit hours are even more confusing than international times. As long as folks keep pledging, the project funding continues. So it ended 2 minutes ago, but it still has 10 minutes to go.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you everyone.
It's happened.
Very cool.
There's not a fanfare.
Thank you for trapping us in this eternal Friday afternoon.
The parade keeps going as long as you keep shoving us down the high street.
But at least this time they're not making you dance for them, right?
Yes.
Enjoy. Relax and enjoy. Marketing CJ will return. But in the meantime, Kevin Scarf asks, any rules for vassals or entities escaping a hollow and all the potential shenanigans that this allows? And then they've added that, that they'd be happy to make their own rules, but they'd love if this is something you're going to cover.
Yeah. So, like, extracting things from hollows is a bit weird because they're all these sort of parasite other worlds that don't really hang together if you look at them too hard. Like, they're real for the person who's trapped in them, and they're real in as much as they can kick you to death, but they're not real like France is real, even though you can't see it unless you live in France. We've got a thing on, like, taking bits outside of hollows. Broadly, you can get stuff into the refuge, fine. And then that means the refuge, this isn't in the quick start. The refuge is sort of an interdimensional coaching inn, or boys club, or tree house, where you go and hide to recuperate and meet NPCs and that sort of thing. And one of the ways in which you increase your health long term is by building extra rooms in your refuge for thralls to live in. Refugees from outside of space and time, basically. And we are pretty muddy on whether thralls are 3D printed by the hollow, people who've been trapped in the hollow, or not real in any way, but real enough to come and live in your house. Similarly, you can anchor lords and bring them out. And there's a few. We're playing around with, like, some missions for the Conclave as well, who are like, we want you to capture this vassal and put it in your basement so we can come and poke it. I think, yeah, I'm excited about it. I've not spent a great, like, we haven't got rules for it. I don't especially think so. And, like, I'd much rather have it as this is what's going to occur between you and your GM, between you and your players, and what you're interested in extracting and talking about. But I quite like the idea of an entity getting out. But then you'd be useless against it because you're not in a hollow. You're just some guy.
Yeah, but that's absolutely my shit, right? Just four little guys who don't have any of their powers this episode, having to track something they thought they'd already defeated forever through the streets of some London analogue, right? Through the rookeries of Edinburgh.
And the way that hollows spread as well, the way that, like, the effect that hollows have on the real world is that it spreads whatever the malignancy is. So it takes that and amplifies it, but also it's whatever sort of horrible, fucked up, bad part of town vibes you can come up with. So everyone's diseased, everything's breaking and rusting, the infrastructure stops working, and also people turn their backs on it and turn away and try not to worry about this problem anymore, and so it compounds itself. And then I think we could get a bit more mystical with it as well, but I was quite keen to have like the this is all in someone's head and you're going in.
Just because it's in your head doesn't mean it's not real. Definitely being, the vibe here.
I am getting way too, like, metaphysical on this. It's just me going, whoa, what if? But there's this sort of question of in what, like, plane or alternate pocket dimension or whatever that a hollow or a refuge or anything like that exists. And then if something has escaped it, if this is a thing that could happen in someone's... anything can happen in your stories. But if this is a thing that has happened, then how do you fight it? If you can't fight it with real things, do you have to get it back into a hollow? And are all of the hollows on the same plane? And if all of the hollows are in the same plane, can you trap it in some other hollow by hollowing in front of it? There we go.
It's the ultimate sacrifice. Like, okay, guys, I've reached the end of my career. Here we fucking go.
So did lots of great,
I'm generally woollier on cosmology than that. But however you choose to sort out your celestial spheres, more power to you.
I can tell you that in my games of Hollows, and this is just telling you, right, there is no canon, right? This is just something that I enjoy. Everything is rotting, everything is corrupted, right? Surely that includes the fabric of the hollows. Surely at some point they're going to start being porous, and things are going to start bleeding. And that's a really different game, but
and
I
also,
will probably end up playing it.
The closest thing we have to firm canon is the AP, which we've recorded, and one of the characters is Hollowborn from that. Like, one of the characters is a thrall who's been extracted from a hollow by your character, John, and is surviving outside. And I quite I would be interested in poking around in downtimes and that sort of thing, and being like, okay, so you're not a person, but you do look like one. How does that feel?
Yeah,
that'd be quite good fun.
I want to hear more from Rosie in the future. Rosie's such a fascinating character, and that will quickly, like, sort of segue us into talking about the AP. But before we do that, we do have 2 more questions. And if there are other questions while we're talking about the AP, if we have time to get to them, I will go ahead and log them, so feel free to continue to ask. Here's a quick, easy one. So actually we have 3 more questions. Here's a quick, easy one from Vice Black. Is the All the Hollows physical add-on same content as the All the Hollows PDF?
I think so.
Yes, it's got all of the hollows in.
Yeah. Pika 500 asks, will we know anything about the 9th Hollow today?
Will we know anything about the 9th hollow today? I will tell you one thing about the 9th hollow, and that is that there is a possibility that it will evoke or at least tell us something about parts of the world other than the Isles.
Interesting.
We have to name a country. Okay.
No.
Cool.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, good one.
Last question before we move on to just chatting about the AP for a little bit is a quick fishing question. Quick fishing.
This is not the right group for that, guys.
Quick fiction questions. What made the weapons gain their power? Is it because of the symbiotic relationship with their hunter? This is Yandaman with a plan, who also comments, I just upgraded my pledge, my poor wallet, lol.
Good man, Yandaman with the plan. And the less than the £200 less. We have, I think, if I can remember correctly, 20 different explanations, and we're naming none of them. Because
if you are familiar with Spire, how the weapons came to be works very similarly to why Spire exists.
We needed something which was weird. Like the malignancies are fairly easy to understand from a cosmic point of view, and we couldn't come up with anything which really felt satisfying for the weapons, or felt like, oh, it's closing off something around there, it's doing something there. I think my personal favorite canon is that the weapons are using hunters as ammunition to kill entities, and so they're effectively loading them into refuges and firing them into hollows. But there's a bunch of different explanations, and if you're too evil to stay in hell, you become a weapon. If you're too good to stay in heaven, you become a weapon. It's none of this is happening. You're talking to your gun. There's
Your shirt is so appropriate.
Oh yes. There we are.
Amazing.
God used me as a hammer, boys, to beat his weary drum today. So yes, we don't know, but we've given you as many options as you want, and we think that one of the most fun things you can do in one of the best bits of role playing that I've really enjoyed going through fights is just sort of chipping in as weapons and working out what the relationship is between people and their weapons. And so that's kind of and like Alexandra's poor book, who just wants to be used.
She's working on. She's having a character arc, Grant. She used it for like
learning
the first
to
time
read
since episode 1.
Yeah, it's true.
In this episode that's coming up, in this final episode of The Sins of Grisham Priory, she used her book, and the episode before she said to the book, "I should probably use you sometime, huh?" So we're having a very on the nose character arc moment for Alexandra.
Do we have one more question? Or was that all?
I think that
I can't
was
remember
it. Just
count.
making sure. Yep, that was it.
Groovy.
So let's chat about that AP actually, just a little bit. We've got a bit of time. Let's start with Grant. What was it like for you to run that? Did you?
Oh, it was great, honestly. It was lovely. You had a really nice group which worked together, and it was a great opportunity to get Chris on camera. So we pre-recorded all the APs. Chris doesn't do live feeds because fair. But that meant that we could get him in, which means that between him and Chant are the 2 people who are best at playing hollows, and I've run more hollows than anyone else. And by best, I mean like you make the numbers bigger. But it was interesting. It was a fun challenge to fight against you, because it was really quite like you really optimized your group and you really grouped up beautifully. And any time which you all sort of hung out in one space, I was getting absolutely mullered. But I know Grisham Priory in and out. I wrote the damn thing, and we've been knocking it back and forth for 6 months now. It's been out, and I've played it and run it in various iterations, and it was lovely because we had a bit of time to do a bit of role play. We got to do our first intrusion, which Chris and I came up with after the idea of the quick start. But the idea of like how you break into a hollow and what's taking place in the narrative trailer, and so having our characters introduce themselves as like, right, okay, here's my flavor of weird, and I'm going to use it to break into someone's mindscape, and the fights went nicely. I feel heartbroken for poor Alexandra because she just can't catch a fucking break. She's effectively leading this crew. She's paid for this interdimensional refuge. I like to imagine that somehow you're paying rent on the refuge, and you just keep throwing knives into walls and whiffing shots on these 40-foot entities.
I think there's an interesting commentary there too, right? Though, because so we've kind of headcanoned that this is their second Hollow together. And we don't know what everyone was really like. We established that some things were things that have carried through, like we know that Alexandra's always been bloodthirsty and things like that. We don't really know what people were like, so we can either happily assume they're the same or happily assume they were different. But one thing that's kind of funny about this, right, is that those of you who are familiar with the AP know that Alexandra was a blue blood noble, and lived a life pretty much of casual luxury and never had to worry about much, didn't want to get married, and didn't really ever have to think about anyone else. And there's this sort of interesting situation here, right, where she has a personal vendetta that she's going after. She's framed it as benevolent and, philanthropic, and she's gotten this team together to say, we're going to clear the Isles, we're going to make things better, but really she's off to murder her boyfriend. And subsequently, they go into this hollow, and she can't hit a fucking thing. And she's just relying on everybody else to do the hard work for her the entire hollow. And I did not stat Alexandra to fail, but I did stat her thematically, and then tried to make the best I could of her from that. And it has created some interesting narratives that were sort of not explicit, including the one being that she's actually really not that effective, especially when she doesn't focus on what she's good at and just focuses on her anger and her bloodlust. She's not as good, she's not as effective of a hunter. So for the middle episodes in particular, 2 and 3, she just kept trying to stab things. And I did put in a few tier 1 abilities for her that help when she misses, so that I'm not totally fucking the rest of the party. But things like she can automatically move, or she can focus, or someone else near her can focus. And she should actually be a threat manipulator and sort of a support character, but she just wouldn't stop trying to stab it. And this is half me playing with a build, but half me playing with a concept. And it created some implicit things as well, like, yes, she's gathered this group and they're all really competent hunters, and she's just fucking trying to stab something that doesn't bleed because she's angry, and she thinks that it doesn't matter because everything will work out for her because it always has. So there's this interesting implicit thing that she's going on a character arc now. She just really opened the book for the first time in 4 episodes, and she's kind of starting to understand her own strengths and weaknesses better, and whether or not that, in a long-term campaign, if my goal for Alexandra was to keep her going and alive and so on and so forth, then the potential character arc that I would see about exploring for her would be understanding her own skills, and also understanding her connection to others, and those things being things that anchor her here to reality. So there's a lot.
I love the idea of her learning to give up the knife and picking something else. Like swapping out to bludgeon. Something more violent than the knife, please.
Okay, but please imagine how offended the knife is going to be every time she goes back into the refuge. Like, every time she's back in earshot.
I feel like the knife is going to be like, Well, it's not my fault that you couldn't use me. Like,
Shan, you're playing a support character, which I know you enjoy doing, but it's not how Hollows. That's the thing. It's how you win Hollows, but it's not what it looks like Hollows does. Is that fair?
Hollows can do almost anything, is the thing.
Hey, no, the campaign's over. We don't need to lie anymore.
No, the backer train is still rolling. Hollows does anything and everything. You can do a 80
You can
cafe
run
romance
D&D
in
in
it
it
if you want to.
It's 5e compatible. Fuck you.
Also, bad news. We're going to make 3 books and they're all going to be 100 quid. No, nope. I don't usually play support characters, actually. What I usually like to do is find the biggest, stupidest elf with a sword build that I can make and stab things really, really fucking hard. But Hollows is really sleek and efficient in the way it handles controllers and support characters. It gives you a range of things that you can do, and you can control characters especially, right? Do one of my favorite things, which is you can set up 6 abilities that all trigger off each other, so that every time the GM looks your way, you explode. And like that is like that's my ideal character build.
Okay, Shan, I'm gonna make an interrupt attack again. Did your mum?
You're not though.
are you placing threat in my area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The chat loved that chant. They started like I think it was episode 3. There was like a line of like by the end of it like 3 or 4 people going, "Hey, excuse me, are you placing threat?" Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. Are you placing threat in my
Thank you,
area?
everyone, for appreciating how much I love to rain on Grant's parade.
Ah, it's great. Like it's I wrote a bunch of the abilities as well, so I really like seeing them pair together, and it's quite exciting to have like, oh, I'm going to try this. Nah, fuck you.
I wanna.
Especially like
There's
when
one
I'm
flaw in Merlin's build, right? Which is that,
with the sword.
yeah, the fact that he hasn't bothered using one of his weapons, right? The one flaw in the build is that he falls over in a strong breeze. So I've made a character who's like character arc in my head is all about him coming to understand hollows and analyze them, and spend some time like really preparing for his, in his mind, inevitable blossoming into the Lord of a Hollow. So he's gonna get such a good grade in evil, guys.
Normal to want, impossible to
Impossible
have.
to
He'll be the
achieve.
best
Yeah.
at evil.
He's gonna be the best at evil. But unfortunately, he's made of twigs, wrapped in thin strands of linen, and he's been dead at the end of the last 2 boss fights.
Oh yeah, spoilers for the finale. It comes down to the wire.
It's
But it is
very.
but spoilers for the finale. It might surprise you to hear I killed the healer.
Yeah, right. I'm sure everybody in chat is shocked
Yeah.
by this. The real like shock is which round it happens in.
Yeah, oh, it's great. Yeah, like running with the enhanced entity rules means that you just do fucking horrible things, and I can one-shot characters now, and it's kind of on you to not get one-shot by me, which is kind of an exciting thing to happen.
I want to take just a second to just sort of appreciate the community again,
please.
because you all have been fantastic coming into the AP, interacting with me in chat, watching, commenting on it in Discord. We couldn't be luckier to have you, and I like that we're all sort of getting memes about ourselves now as well. Like we have,
Chat
are you
language.
placing threat in my area for Chant?
Maybe.
Elaine has been dubbed in the chat earlier today. Elaine Wallbacon Lithgow, and I've got Grun, which is thanks. But it's you guys.
I think Sergeant Weeks' catchphrase needs to be, "This is why you eat your fucking coins,"
Yeah, that's
which
so
also
good.
works for Chris, I think.
It's a grunning
It's a
gag.
curious
Yes,
fellow.
it is. Thank you, Spatial. I just like these sorts of things that we're getting to do with you all are things that would not be worthwhile to do, and also we wouldn't be able to do without you. So I just want to be sappy for a minute and just say this is such a great community. I feel like from when I joined Rowan, Rook and Decard all the way up until now, I've been able to. You've just welcomed me. You've welcomed everyone who has come in since May, and you've been just a really great group of folks that are really enthusiastic and really, really sharp as well and creative. And without you
Yeah,
and your enthusiasm.
and very few pricks.
And very few pricks.
We're pretty good at just drop kicking them off the server, but we don't have to do it very often. You look after yourselves, which I like.
Yeah. So, thank you for that. Please continue that, and we'll continue to try to do right by you. It's been awesome. And yeah, let's talk a little bit about, since they're not here to defend themselves, Rosie and Sergeant Weeks, maybe?
Yeah. So Rosie is Hollowborn, and so she was taken off. Like, she was effectively a piston made out of flesh, and so she was like the idea is it's Rosie the Riveter, but as a horrible copy of life, which has been taken out. So Rosie's running armor bludgeon, which means that she can do half decent damage, but primarily she's a tank with the armor, and she does an awful lot of useful buffing, which is nice. And she has approached everything with a sort of wide-eyed wonder, right up to the way that like Elaine decided that she didn't know that hunters come back to life after they die, and so just to be heartbroken when someone died for the first time, which was very sweet.
And it happened to be Merlin as well.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
the one
yeah,
that
yeah,
she's
yeah.
closest to.
Her best friend.
He pulled her from the hollow, correct?
I also.
Yeah, she doesn't know that he did that with the vague intention of vivisection, but he did it.
There's a thing. So Elaine's Scots, and there's a thing where no one can do a good Scottish accent. And I'm from there. I'm originally Scots myself, but I just can't make it work. And the voice that Elaine puts on for Rosie makes me understand how she feels when people do bad Scottish accents. Because it's Mr. Merlin. It's real sort of like it's real. Oi, Mister, you me dad. It's perfectly pitched. Room somewhere.
It's so good.
With one enormous chair. Yeah. It's great. And we have Sergeant Weeks. Sorry, please.
No, just the idea that Rosie came from this sort of factory-esque hollow, and she was on a production line, and the idea that they are all Rosies, and they're all like, and they're all standing there just being like, "Oi, hand me that nut, will you?"
Hey, Rosie, what? No, not you, the other one.
Yeah, it's just.
I love that canonically the Rosies sleep in a big puppy pile near the furnace. Mm-hmm. Elaine does this in every game I've ever seen her play, right? She will immediately find the heart and the warmth, furnace jokes notwithstanding, in any game, and immediately center that, and it's really, really lovely to watch.
And it's such a good dichotomy from the rest of us who are just fuckheads.
Yeah. Right. On the subject of fuckheads, we have Chris's nihilist Sergeant Weeks, who I've never seen Chris get bogged down in role playing. Let's put it that way. He doesn't he's very straight and to the point when he's at the table, and so Sergeant Weeks is a dickhead who has a shotgun and a pistol, which I think the pistol's there to shoot the shotgun if it misbehaves. It's the only possible use for it.
Yeah, it commissars the shotgun.
But the Chris, so obviously Chris wrote the abilities as well alongside me, and so Chris knows how to break hollows in half over his knee. He's also very interested in that sort of thing. Yeah, absolutely, and he's very interested in that sort of thing. And so it was him who came up with the idea of you get an ability after each monster, and then locking them in so you can do you can play with theory crafting, but at the table, so it's crafting, I guess. But Weeks is our DPS. Fundamentally, and the way that he does most of his attacks is whenever I wound him, he shoots me, and whenever he reloads, he hits me, and whenever he misses with an attack, he hits me. And so anytime again, anytime I look towards Chant's character, half the grid explodes in cover and resolve healing, and maybe even wound healing, and every time I try and punch Chris, my arm comes off. So
Chris, can I just say, Chris has made an entity build as a character.
Mm.
He's made a character who is far more dangerous in all of the spaces between their turn than on his actual turn. The sneaky little bastard.
It's a really clever build.
It's pretty swish.
And I like Sergeant Weeks as well because he's really a thematic character. He's got this sort of, almost I would say, guilt of his entire His entire unit was killed because of a commanding officer's order. So he came and he murdered the commanding officer and just defected, as I understand it. And now is a hunter. And that was his seed. That was the worst day of his life, the time where he was, infected with this malignancy. So you kind of see where he's got this sort of gruff, sort of soldiery mannerisms, but still says some real good one-liners. And
he made soup and put together a little camp in your refuge. And there's still like one of the things I really like about Hollows is that it's this and the same with Heart actually as well. It's an inhuman game, but we've buried humanity everywhere through it, and you find it and you're like, oh here it is. Oh, here's the thing. That's quite. It was fascinating having you all put your refuge together, because I've not built a refuge properly with a player group before. We've done a lot of testing. We haven't done a full build like that. And so we went through and did our characters. Okay, I've got this character here. And then the last half of the session was like, here's what the treehouse is like. And it's like hey guys, do you want to make your own special house? Then it's kind of fucked up. It's like it's the equivalent when you're rolling in a club and you sit down and you're like, oh man, we should buy a club. What if we had a club? Oh yeah, that'd be great, man. And then you just sort of do that, but instead of ecstasy, it's a shotgun.
Instead of ecstasy, it's a shotgun.
Coming never, my careful mapping of weapons versus party drugs.
So.
No, I don't know.
Maybe.
Most of them are cocaine.
I've just been writing something unrelated to Hollows completely, and I think when Grant looked it over, the first thing, one of the first things other than praise that he said to me was, "There's a lot of drugs in this." So it's, I think it's just an underlying theme.
It's a Honey Heist Con scenario.
God.
You managed to put clouds of narcotics in over half of the tables. Drugged up bears travelling through time.
God.
You'd have to be.
The Indianapolis authorities are going to come and shut this fucking convention down, lads.
That'd be good.
But I will say, as much as I would love to keep us on chatting about this forever, I did say that we could wrap up around half 4.
Thank you, CJ.
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
The thing is, we do still have a whole episode to show you all.
Yeah.
So here's what's going to happen. I will still be in chat. I will be talking with you all as we watch this final episode of the AP, and that will include reacting and updating about where we are on the Backerkit, because as of now, we still have a 118-person backer train. At the moment, 6 minutes left. Wow, I'm glad to be typing soon. 2,826 backers, and currently a total of £251,041. Thank you all so much. But we're not gonna. I'm going to happily presume that this backer train is going to keep chugging along for potentially eternity. We don't know. And so I am not.
Or 5 minutes 39.
Oh, there's another one. So we're back to 10 minutes.
We're good. Okay, yeah.
But unlike Dagger in the Heart, I am not going to hold Grant and Chant hostage until it ends. So. What is going to happen now is we are going to head over to that AP, the last of 4 episodes of the Sins of Grisham Priory plus Hollow's actual play that we did as Rowan, Rook and Decard. There's a lot to look forward to, including there will be some culmination of that Hollows we all built together. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Very exciting stuff. And obviously also the books that are coming.
Presumably.
So, it's all good. It's all really great. And before I send us out...
You've got your money now, suckers. I want to buy part of a yacht.
Part of a yacht.
Rolls. We're leaving the country.
We can get a little used sort of, maybe a canal boat. Or
like a little cigarette boat or something, yeah.
But before I send us out and we move on to that last episode of the AP, I'm going to give both Grant and Chant each a moment to say whatever they'd like to say and give me their parting shots as well.
I think we should let Grant wrap up, so I'm going to go first. And I just want to say thank you to everyone at Rowan, Rook and Decard who had these beautiful ideas for Hollows, and then let me come and touch them with my dirty little producer fingers. That was very generous of you, and you're all very, very good at what you do. And thank you, everyone in chat and everyone beyond chat, everyone who has talked about this campaign, backed this campaign, told their friends about this campaign, refrained from going, that sounds a bit weird, and just
Well,
kind of
aside from
trusted
that one guy.
us to run with it, you know? We couldn't do it without you is trite and also very factually true. And we sort of know it'll work, right? Or we wouldn't put these books on Backerkit, but every time it does work, and every time thousands of people turn out and go, fuck yeah, we like your idea, my shriveled black heart blooms a little bit back towards humanity. So thank you, backers. Thank you.
And we've got a few comments in the chat just saying Free RPG Day has a lot to answer for.
Yeah.
So, yes, thank you for finding us. Grant.
Yeah, I thought Chant would just sort of phone it in when he said thank you. But
Usually.
no, like it's going to be tricky to follow. Broadly, Chant, thank you, because I think the only person I've met who likes Hollows more than me and Chris is you. You are like you grabbed the playtest and started playing it immediately, even when it was rough as old balls, and you really enjoyed it. You've really got what it was about since before we hired you. And you applied to the producer role. We brought you on, and you've done absolutely cracking work. And CJ as well. You've taken this, and we've used this as a springboard to build a community and to speak to our people and to perform and to provide things for people to enjoy in a way which we haven't engaged with before. And so it's been really exciting. It's been an experiment in a lot of different ways, and it's kind of paid off, which is nice. What I'm here to say for you is I'd like to thank all of you who've come along, especially you who've backed our previous games as well, because one, we rely on you to have things like roofs and food, but two, as I've said, this isn't our normal sort of thing. This is not a woolly storytelling game. This is a crunchy tactical combat game that is about toxic masculinity, which is a hard fucking sell. But you've come along. And I have my sinking suspicion that every single story gamer out there, every single Apocalypse World friend, every single Brindlewood Bay player, just wants to flank maybe a bit. Just wants to maybe roll a critical hit or something. And so, hey, come over here and we'll have a nice quick fight and it'll be exciting. And then you can go back to Chronicles of Darkness or what have you, yeah? Or Spire, or one of our many fine games. But yes, thank you very much. Thank you for all the money. Thank you for the support. I'm going to disappear into the woods for 3 months and write the game.
Which is exactly what we want. in that the things that you and Chris produce are really lovely, really fun to play, engaging things, and we're just as much as you all in the chat are all excited for this, we're all like chomping at the bit as well. Can't wait. And I said almost everything I needed to say already, so I'm gonna go ahead and send us off into that final episode of the Sins of Grisham Priory actual play done by the Rowan, Rook and Decard folks. I'm gonna let Grant and Chant go lie on the floor or whatever they would presume to want to do now after this. And I am going to do a final thank you all very much. We are over the final stretch goal. We are still chugging along on the backer train, and I will be in chat if you all want to continue to talk and celebrate, and I will answer any questions I can. So, that's it for us. It's not it for the Hollows backer kit, because that's still going, but eventually that will also be it for that. But for now, we'll see you again soon.
Bye! Love and violence!
Okay, let's just make sure we're out. Let me move on to the pre-recorded video. 2 seconds, folks.
Gotta turn my subtitles off for
This world is sour. And here, sourer still, a stinking sump of rust and ruin. A hollow, boiling beneath the real. The landlord here was a hungry man. Took everything he could. Money, time, teeth, blood. Folded in on himself with the want. Then it found him. Bound him in a hell all his own. Twisted him monstrous. Gave back that hunger tenfold and watched it run rampant. By the time we found him, there were dozens dead in their beds. Normal folk can't see it. They can't taste the rot on their tongue. But you can. It's in your soul. It marked you as one of its own. And one day, it'll take you too. But not today. Today, we make this world better. Today, we cut that cancer out with blade and bullet. Come with me into the hollow. You are a hunter. And today, you will hunt.
Hi everyone, welcome to what we believe may be the last episode of The Sins of Grisham Priory actual play, sort of, by us, the Rowan, Rook and Decard cast. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here and do this for you and for us, because we had lots of fun as well. And I just want to remind everybody that you can still follow what's going on with Hollows at rrdgames.com/hollows, even though the Backerkit's done. That doesn't matter. You can pre-order it. You can also keep up to date with blogs and any other things that are being done, including any information about what we're going to do with that hollow that we all created together. So keep your eyes peeled, keep your eyes on the Backerkit on socials, and this is only the beginning. So with that, I want to thank Sam Lamont for the gorgeous art that you're seeing all over here. I want to thank everyone who has been involved in this project, and I want to thank everyone here. Chris, Elaine, Chant, thank you for playing, and of course, Grant, thanks for being our good sport GM.
Yeah. We have fun. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Whenever it is you're looking at this, I hope it's a good one. Let's get to it. You join us in session 4? You join us for, must be four. Join us in session 4 of Grisham Priory. Our heroes have so far fought a big dog, fought a tailor, but also kind of a textile workshop, fell through 2 floors of church, and only one of them got crushed to death by falling masonry, which I'm quite sad about. Merlin, of course, sustained a fatal wound last session when he was crushed to death by a big brick. Thankfully, this is Hollows, so he will simply wake up with a metaphysical hangover in the refuge. And that is where we join them now. Chris, you're keeping track of bone, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Spend 1. And also add 4.
Certainly.
You add 4 for defeating the pig vicar, and you spend 1 of them to make a Boneheart key, and enter the the refuge, which, as ever, is a crumbling warren of mouldering warren of several libraries that started mating. Is the best way I can describe it. There's a bunch of parlours hastily ramshackled together, and comfortable, if communal, beds not communal beds, communal bedrooms. You all sleep in one big bed in the middle. Oh. No, you don't.
It's just like back at the factory.
Except they let us sleep here.
Yeah. We used to have a pass-out room, they called it, when the heat got too much, and we all just, the Rosies, would just walk in and fall over for a bit, I think. Then they'd come in with the hose, cool us
in
all
the
off,
coward's
and we'd
corridor.
Yeah.
Rosie, you've been moved by the recent death of your good friend, Dr. Merlin, Mr. Merlin. Are you a Dr. Merlin, or is that
Professor
Cool.
Merlin.
Professor. Professor Merlin. Sorry, Professor Merlin. The recent death of Professor Merlin, as you are unaware that hunters come back to life after they've been killed. So it is a surprise for you to wander into the refuge and find Merlin. Merlin, what have you been doing after you died?
Furiously preparing to get back out there.
Okay.
He's sitting in front of the fire with a frankly quite upsetting array of alchemical preparations. Syringes, vials, little powders that might be heavy metal based. He's assembling a first aid satchel because that's what I'm swapping out my hunt equipment for.
Tremendous.
And he is packing it with the quiet rage of a man who has been cheated out of a good murder.
Rosie has just spent the entire walk back. Nobody has informed her that hunters get back up, so to Rosie's mind...
We'll assume you know.
Mr. Merlin's got squished. Mr. Merlin, flat as a pancake. Nothing. And just heartbroken.
Effectively, probably what happened was Rosie was very upset and carrying on, and without anyone going, hey, it's gonna be okay, Rosie, eventually Alexandra stood up and walked over and went, it's time to go back to the refuge. And probably between Sergeant Weeks and Backerkit and Alexandra, they've managed to usher Rosie back to the refuge.
Yeah. And like the instant she sees Merlin sitting in the fireplace, it was just like drop hammer, you know, and run over, and just like the biggest bear hug ever, just full off the ground.
These things are volatile, Rosie. So many of them.
You're alive. I thought you were dead. I saw you got squished, and just like
Rosie, my friend.
Full. Oh. Are you okay? I saw you got squished. How are you alive?
Oh,
Mr. Weeks set your body on fire and everything.
Oh, thank you, Weeks.
Welcome.
Although next time, I am a little curious what happens if we bring several cadaverous copies of ourselves into the refuge.
Only you
Rats.
want to do that.
Rats.
Get rats.
God, yeah, and not like normal.
Not
Cool
good
rats.
rats.
Do you honestly think we don't already have rats?
You're capping out,
big
Chris.
rat.
I'm gonna pull down your volume a bit. Or I guess like shout rats quieter. I don't know. Rats.
I, for one, don't particularly care for dead body smell in the refuge, but if it pleases you, I'm sure we can arrange a room.
Would you rather not know?
Yes.
I promise I'm not planning to put it in the bedroom, Alexandra.
Can you like? Is there any of you in here? Do any of you have any sense of the hollow out here? Is there like a window or a like? Is there a particular like? Is it drafty from the hollow? Is there any connection to the hollow at all in this space, or is it completely?
I want to assume there's
Sacrosanct.
a grand window in the parlor. It feels like that many. I think normally you just sort of. When you look upon this window normally, it's as if you're looking out into just the foggiest night you've ever seen. You don't really see anything out the window normally, is my thought about this.
Vague shapes in the fog sometimes or
Yeah.
reflect the entities or something strange.
I mean, like, you could see through the fog, like, places that are definitely not the hollow.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it shows the hollow, sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time it's fog, but sometimes you see like a little gap and it's just like, it looks like Dartmoor or something, and it's just completely different. Like, we don't know where that is.
Cool.
Cool, I like that.
Okay. Yeah. Almost a coming attractions sort of thing.
Yeah. Next up on hollows.
Next up on hollows, it's more misty sadness. The occasionally some of the hollow does come through, and you can see the what's the word? Like that bit in the Time Machine, the film, the H.G. Wells adaptation, where the sun sort of like streaks across the sky and the dressmaker's window changes. You know, we see the passage of time sped up. But inside the hollow, time flows very quickly compared to outside the hollow, even in the refuge. And you can catch almost ant-like these tiny snatches of movement of it almost looks like a whale fall, having defeated the pig vicar, the various cultists and sects within Grisham Priory are descending upon it and harvesting it for meat, and gradually whittling it away until it's not much other than bone. And if anyone wants to take a refuge action while they're here, Chant, your refuge action was coming back from the dead.
Yep.
Anyone else can take a refuge action if you've paid for one. Chris, how much bone you got?
9.
9. You could, so you can, if you wish to, you can upgrade the refuge. You can do things such as you could build a little garden, which has no useful mechanical effect now. You could do a tannery. You could get a +1 maximum wound. You could, like for all of you actually, you could change your weapon to a different weapon, which feels a bit last minute. You could
Kind of like the +1 wound so far. That was quite, that's pretty appealing.
An infirmary?
handy.
Meds? What is it?
It's a surgery, right?
No, it's a yeah. No, hang on. What is it? What the fuck is it? Sorry, folks. Rearm. Oh yeah, it's 5 bone for a repair shop. Keep your gear in working order. All hunters gain +1 maximum wound.
Oh, cool. I was looking at the recover bit instead.
That makes much more sense. That's where it should be. But here we are. So there is a who's putting in the repair shop? Like who's spearheading this initiative?
I think Alexandra will express that it's needed, but
Yeah. I think it's either Weeks or Rosie.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just me putting it together would be more like a quartermaster's.
I quite like the idea. I like the idea of setting up like a field hospital, and it suits the crown, right?
Yeah.
But like a field hospital in a library.
Yes. Yeah. It's just like actually, literally in the library.
Mm.
There's actually tents in there from a frontline field hospital.
Yeah, which you managed to find. Yeah, I like that.
And some awfully uncomfortable cots for some reason.
Like you're maybe able to scavenge the enormous ragged robes of the pig vicar to make tents out of.
Yeah.
What else we got? Yeah. Okay. Cool. So it is a repair shop rather than the field hospital. I got that a little bit wrong. So there's various. I like to imagine that Weeks keeps his equipment not in the best shape, but the best working order.
It is incredibly functional. It now looks like shit.
So in terms of being able to get the blood out your bludgeon, and oil your armor and your rifles and what have you, and make you much sturdier. Everyone gains +1 wound for putting this in place. Chris, that's your refuge action for this time.
Yep.
And then I think we're about ready to move on.
Guys, I've got 4 wounds now.
Whoa! Hey!
Delay.
I can't one-shot you now. That's great.
Well, not with that attitude, no.
No, that's true.
Rosie, does that put you up to 9 now as well?
yeah.
You're 7 and 9.
Fucking hell, that's a lot of wounds.
I'm in danger of starting to feel a bit confident about this,
Good. We the butler, who I don't believe was named, just the butler.
Yep.
Ushers you out after
Gerard.
Yes, sorry, Gerard Butler. Gerard Butler. Sorry, that one didn't work. Gerard Butler ushers you out with his nice big beard. No, it's just a normal butler. Very good sirs and madams, he says, and ushers you back out into the adventure, where you step out of a nearby door and you see indeed the pig vicar's corpse has been picked clean, the cult scattered. There is an enormous rib cage with little bits of quite desiccated flesh hanging to it, and behind him an enormous. Oh, go ahead.
I told them we'd make bacon of them.
Hey,
And indeed we
Yeah.
did, Rosie.
You come to Area 6 through a big old vault door, the kind of which you'd see in a bank. So, this which leads you to the Root Hole, a winding cave system that stretches down far beneath the priory and deep into the earth. Though parts of it are open enough to stand up straight without banging your head, the majority of the system is made up of cramped tunnels, tight burrows, and partially flooded passageways. Thankfully, the route down isn't hard to determine. Torn fabric, scuff marks, and cracked outcroppings mark frequent passage. While the wall... yeah, cool, okay. So, this is... Oh, no, there's another paragraph, sorry. While the walls start as dirt and mangled masonry, they quickly transition to tightly packed golden gems. Cut rubies and jagged emeralds jut out of tunnel walls. A loose scree of bent coins lies precariously underfoot, and tarnished jewelry chain seems to grasp and snare the hunters as they descend. So, this is pretty much a... This is an abseil down. It is an arduous route as well. It's tricky, so you are able to. The hazard for this is. Hang on. The four of you clamber down, and this is an arduous descent, but not one which is going to cause you too many problems. But you can see now, off to the side. Gold-veined roots with an opalescent sheen. The Rowan tree is holy, and a ward against malevolent forces. These are Rowan roots, and this is a relic. However, it is down a horrible corridor, down a horrible winding press of rock and expensive rock, and it will be. You have to bypass a hazard to get there. However, if you want to, you can. You can cram yourself into this hole and try and get a relic. Otherwise, you can choose to go on without doing so.
So the relics replace our hunt equipment, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the question is anybody wanting to... Does anyone have hunt equipment they think would be better replaced by a relic? Because I already have a relic of the ashes from before.
Merlin and I both have first aid satchels, which are useful, but perhaps if the relic is worthwhile enough, we may be able to stand to replace one of them.
Yeah, get in there, CJ.
Sure.
Crawl down that tunnel.
Alexandra says that, and probably everyone else just looks at
Merlin takes a step back, like, yes, absolutely.
It's going to be one of the two smaller people.
Alright.
I think I can fit down there.
This is TN11, quick or sharp, CJ.
Okay, and
And I will also say, remember, during exploration, if you can convince me that your backstory is somehow relevant to this, you can pick 2 dice and roll the highest. And so, like the origin that you've chosen. Now, CJ, I don't think there was an awful lot of crawling through tiny holes.
no, I'm afraid
in your
not.
backstory. So, crack on.
Although I feel like if I wanted to be an absolute bastard, on pretty much anything I could just go, she believes this will further her cause to get through the hollows and murder her boyfriend. I'm not going to this time, but I'm keeping that in my back pocket for some other time.
All right. Give me a roll. TN11, please.
Alright,
Quick or sharp?
Quick is 14. So
Okay, so you want to roll as close to 14 as possible without going over.
roll it, damn it. There we go. Don't freeze this time. Nope, that's over. That's a 19.
You crawl in, and it's going okay. And you're about to reach out and grab this Rowan root when you feel this fiery pain in your side. As you take a wound. There is a because you just got a spare one, so that's fine.
Yeah.
What's a sharp piece of jewelry?
Diadem?
Oh, Yeah. Like there's a mangled tiara has grown up, and what you think you think it's topped with a ruby, but in fact it's a diamond that's been smeared with your blood, and you are now trapped in a hole. So you can carry on trying to get down there if you'd like, or someone else can help, or you can just give up.
I'm gonna carry on, and I'm gonna
Yeah, Godspeed.
I'm also going to argue that this time it is part of my backstory because she lived a life of luxury and she's now actively getting harmed by jewelry.
I'll allow it for this time. Yeah, 2d20, pick low. Or pick whichever one you want.
It's very ironic.
Yeah.
Is it still quick or sharp?
Yeah, whichever one you want.
Quick, which is 14. I think she kind of swears again because she's not very ladylike. And she goes, "It's disgusting down here," and tosses her hat back up so that it doesn't get ruined.
It's not the first time I've been stabbed fatally by a tiara.
Yeah, is this like...
Also definitely a no, so I've wrote under, but oh wait, well it's a success.
No, it's good. That's good.
It's a
Remember?
success, so,
There we go. It goes standard, superior, critical. And if you roll under your stat, that is standard. Cool. Okay. You emerge looking battered and bruised from coming down here, like bleeding from a dozen minor lacerations. 4 resolve damage, please, before you go to the next fight. As you were thoroughly, as you've hurt yourself going down this corridor, but you were clutching a magical Rowan root, and you can feel it. Holding it, you don't feel that pain, and you'll also note that before you grabbed it, the blood was being actively drawn out of you, like dripping at a slightly askew angle down into the gold, or up into the gold. It was hungry, and now it's not. Now it's flowing up your arm towards that Rowan root, and it's keeping it with you. So that's cool.
It's still on the outside, though.
Yeah, it's still
which is not great. But...
not where blood should be.
Points at it. Hold it. Points at it. Like.
Was it worth it?
It will be. So carrying this into the fight against the bishop removes its avaricious aura ability, which basically means you can fight it. So that's nice. But we will learn the precise mechanics of that once we reach the bishop, as you stumble down towards the golden pit. A network of tunnels dug by claws and loaded with stolen wealth. The floor is lousy with discarded crowns, bent scepters, dented chalices, and torn up portraits. Huge piles of coins stretch to every wall. Scant illumination is provided by flickering torches mounted in alcoves along the sides of the chamber. Murals, lovingly painted by long dead hands, depicted the bishop receiving tithes from his diocese. Crowds of nobles and peasants alike arrived to shovel money directly into his great distended mouth. You can see a shifting darkness in what you presume to be the center of the room, and you must undertake the golden avalanche hazard, which now I say it out loud sounds a bit weird, but a golden avalanche. Keep your footing on a mountain of coins, and so you are going to have to clamber up an enormous, a dragon sword, broadly. So this is TN 15. It's nowhere near as damaging as the last one, and it's quick as you try and pick your way nimbly up a shifting mountain of coins. So TN 15, quick. 1 wound, 1 resolve.
I love to think this is just this massive mountain of precariously perfectly balanced gold, and Rosie, never having seen anything so beautiful in her life, is like, oh, so pretty. Like, takes 1 coin and then starts a fucking uh-oh.
Guess who's directly behind Rosie and failed his roll?
Well,
sorry, what did we say it was? It's
a 20.
Right.
No.
Say again, see
Eyes
quick.
perfect.
TN 12 versus quick is what I heard. Is that
15.
15 versus quick.
Hacking versus quick.
Standard success.
Standard success.
Cool. That is. And Merlin, did you fail? Mysterious. All right, everyone, take one resolve, please. As you stagger up to the top of the hill of things. Hill of things. Fuck me. Enormous pile of gold. And you get
Crushed beneath the weight of capitalism.
You get the boss reveal in the hang on, boy, he's been out the whole time. But in the shifting darkness at the center, the bishop hangs motionless in the shadows, withered arms by his side, guts swollen with gold. As the hunters approach, they notice an enormous eye open on each side of him, and the truth is revealed. His desiccated remains are protruding from the forehead of the great dragon that he has become in his greed. Who pressed Control and Z?
Me, somehow.
What? I wondered what happened to the table there.
It resets the whole game.
I just like to ruin drama. Sorry, guys.
That's fine. Where's my resolve gone? Where's my resolve gone? My wounds are floating. What's happened?
Everything in mine stayed exactly the same, except it moved my wounds off the table.
Oh, hang on. I found my resolve. It's boop here.
On the plus side, my wound tokens are the same colour.
That's great. Good work, CJ.
I do my best to.
You fixed the wound. You fixed the wound problem. I think you've actually given him an extra wound there, so I'm going to cut one of those.
Sorry.
That's okay. Right.
It freaks me out when stuff's floating.
No, that's fair. It is weird. Yes, so, aside from Control and Z, the Bishop is here. The Bishop. He is an enormous fucking dragon, as you can see. If CJ, if you can zoom in with the camera on his horrible nature.
His terrible visage.
A despicable worm the size of a coal barge. Scales rimmed with gold, eyes gleaming like rubies. Jackets, robes, and tapestries have been buttoned and lashed around the creature's massive bulk, and each of its clawed feet is dripping with rings, bangles, and inlaid porcelain. Growing out of, or perhaps attached to, the worm's noseless face is the bishop's limp body, all that remains of the man's original form. It sits defiant on the dragon's brow, taunting the hunters from a safe distance. We have some terrain. We've got 4 sheltered terrain because there's lots of places to hide, and only 1 elevated because there's one middle of the room and the dragon's on it. We have
elevated on some of the sides.
We have specials. Avaricious aura. Your hands shake and your stomach twists with a sudden and desperate hunger. At the start of the bishop's turn, all hunters in close suffer 1 resolve damage. Except they don't, because CJ bought that Rowan route, so that's fine. That negates that effect. It doesn't. The Rowan route isn't triggered; it's a passive effect. I will also say, however, Gilded Scales, the benefits of wealth. Reduce all resolves damage suffered by the entity by 1 to a minimum of 1. So he's quite hard to damage. However, I've already chosen his enhancements because there's 4 of you playing, so I got to pick 1. I've increased his wounds and his resolve, but I've also given him the thing which cuts down his resolve a little bit and lets him make multiple attacks because I think that's fun, and also it makes the fight go quicker. Either way. So, first things first. Oh, and also, you have reached 8 Doom. Having rested in the refuge. Thank you. So this has unlocked the ceremonial armor, increase resolve to 9, and we'll say that some of his keepers, some of the people who he's managed to not eat, have brought down parts of that pig vicar from before, and so he has these enormous, almost like whale, like he has a whale rib cage sort of thing hanging over his torso, as it were, the front bit with his front arms to deflect some armor. So yes, some armor. So he has resolve 9. Which we've brought down and reduced and increased, so he's now sitting at 8. So let's get some initiative. He has a range defense of 11. So you're looking to roll under your sharp and as close to 11 as possible without going over.
Crit.
Sorry, with going over.
A crit.
Well done, Chris. 2 maneuvers in your first turn, and you
Yay.
can put yourself wherever you'd like.
I succeeded.
Hey! Do you want to
Never
go
happened
first?
before. No, I want to position myself, please.
All right, put yourself down.
Nope, I'm over. I'm at 16.
Cool. You will be. I will put you somewhere useless, and then you can act after the baddie.
It would have been really cool if I rolled an 11, because that's also my stat.
What did you roll?
Oh, I rolled a 16.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no,
No.
completely off.
Let's see.
Gang up in front.
Elaine?
Yeah, Rosie fails, slips on some coins, trying to get into the fight, and just absolutely beefs it in a mountain of tinkling coins.
Just beefs it.
Yeah.
Elaine and then CJ. Right, so it goes Chris, and then the entity, and then everyone else. Chris, you get 2 maneuvers in your first turn. I'm going to place... Where's a bad place to be on this guy? Yeah, good idea. Thanks, guys. Everyone's here.
Well, that's concerning.
Everyone's in front.
Cool.
I
Great.
knocked the entity over.
Oh yeah, Cancer's dead. Your crown's so big. Have you... There we go. Perfect.
Got it.
Alex charges in and headbutts a dragon.
It's fucking T-posing, walking. All right. Cool. So the 4 of you are walking up, clambering your way up this enormous mountain of tarnished metals. When the dragon bursts out ahead of you, Chris, I'm going to say you are slightly. I'm going to have you as slightly behind it, but you are definitely in front. You're closer to it, so when it rears up, it catches sight of the other 3 first before it catches you, and it bursts out of the horde with an enormous shower of gold coins. And Chris, you get to take your first turn. You got 1 attack, 2 maneuvers, so make them count.
Excellent. Okay, so first off, Weeks is fucking furious, breathing heavily and charging in like he's running up the gold.
Oh yeah, someone made him walk uphill.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not that. Not the reason he's angry. It's partly because of his new ability.
Oh,
frantic.
Okay.
So he's going to unload that shotgun for the first attack, and he's going to get a miss.
Okay.
But I have frantic now from killing the pig vicar, which means that I must take 1 resolve damage and deal 2 resolve damage to the target.
Tremendous.
So he takes 1.
Yeah, that's reduced to 1. But yes, you fire, and brilliant. Okay, cool. Now your next maneuver.
He's going to reload.
Cool. Okay,
Hang on, sorry,
attack.
I need to flip. So it was loaded. He doesn't need to. Annoying.
Okay. You can guard, I guess.
No, I'm going to try and take terrain. Which is for elevated, for sheltered is quick. What's quick? 13. No, it's a fail.
Okay, either threat or resolve. What do you want?
I will take the resolve.
Cool, and I'll put the sheltered next to you rather than on the grid because we're a bit tight around there. With
that's fair.
Like in real life, fine, but this runs like Surgeon Simulator. So next up we have the entity. Oh, you got any business at the end of your turn? You don't do.
I might as well guard my last free maneuver.
I guess you could also move out of the way.
Hell no.
All right.
Hit me in the face.
Good stuff.
It's a glass jaw that I want you to shatter into your own face.
Okay. So the worm looks down at all of you, as your shotgun pellets smash into its body, but don't do it a great deal of harm, and you sort of kick it a bit as well on the way up. And there's this horrible distension. Is that the word? A distending of its belly. Liquid assets. Try as it might, the worm can't derive any nutrients from the coins it eats, but it can retch them up like grape shot. So that's fun. I mark 3 resolve, and then I vomit coins all over you. I would also vomit coins in anyone in ranged front, but no one's there. So this is everyone, please, and it is TN9 versus Quick 3-3.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Versus Quick.
Yeah.
Crit.
Fail.
That's my last game's rolling nothing lower than a 17. Now 2 crits.
You got your stride in. Brilliant, Chris.
Yeah.
Yes. You were definitely standing out of the way. Then we'll say that it's completely passed you by. Elaine, would you roll?
Fail.
Fail. Tremendous. 3 wounds, please. As a great deal of coins smash into your armor and they bury themselves in your shield. Merlin.
Merlin is, as traditional, using the rest of the team as a human shield and has critted.
Hey, well done, CJ.
Standard success.
Okay, cool. That's three resolve as these sopping wet coins smash into the other sopping wet coins around you, and you mark 3 resolve damage. Then, oh, well, that makes sense.
No.
That does check out. Then it's going to make its second attack. It's going to use. Oh no, that would be horrible. No, well, we'll do Thresh. That's fine. Thresh, frantic panic to storm of teeth and claws. Target all hunters in any close area. That's TN 11 versus hard.
11 versus hard.
Although I don't know. You good?
No, rolled a 20.
Good man. That's 3 wounds, Chris.
Oh, good. You wounded me, eh?
Failure for me.
Oh, that's 3 wounds, CJ.
I'm down.
Okay. This thing vomits coins, spirals down, and smashes into the ground, burying back into the pile underneath you. Chris, if you want to make an attack.
Yep. Just over. It missed.
Heartbreaking, but you have to mark resolve, and I have to get hit, right?
I have to mark resolve. You take 1 resolve. I take 1 resolve.
Great, cool. Okay, love it. CJ is.
My shotgun's still loaded. Good.
CJ is down. Sorry.
Not so fast.
Alexander is
Tank in
down.
the party.
Smash to the. Oh yeah, actually, that's right. Alexander's not down. Tank in the party. What are you going to do about
there's
it?
a tank in the party. I passed, so I think I will expand ready to use my martyr. So I will take the wounds instead of Alexandra -1. So I'll take 2 wounds.
Nice, thank you.
Twang.
Twonk.
Yeah, what does that look like?
I think just seeing that's about to be a horrible thing that happens to another squishy occultist in the party, Rosie will stumble over and shield bash the vicar as they're coming up to just deflect them enough.
Cool.
Away from.
Chant.
Thank
Success.
you, Rosie.
Success.
Mhm.
That is it's 3, 2, 3. What is it? I've already forgotten. 2 resolve damage on a normal success.
That's fine.
As it vanishes, as it buries, and then I'm going to go for. Oh man. My maneuvers aren't great. Mate. Well, sorry. They're really good as long as no one's standing close to me.
Mm-hmm.
But you are all standing close to me. So the other option I've got is hurting you, I suppose. Yeah. Okay, that's fun. I'm going to
Grant, one of your maneuvers is great.
Which one's what? The sunk cost?
Yeah,
Yeah, the one which costs me resolve, huh?
yeah, love that one
Yeah.
for you.
It's pretty good. Let's go for sunk cost. As the beast descends beneath the sea of gold, the terrain collapses. Mark 2 resolve. Make a money sink interrupt action, ignoring the usual threat cost. I'm going to make a money sink action against the front area, which I'm going to attack all targets. TN 9 strong. 2 resolve, 1 wound.
It's 2 resolve for me.
fail.
You fail,
With a
So-
10.
so you shoot me then.
Yeah, how many wounds did I take though?
Oh, just the one.
Just the one.
1 wound.
Hang on, the sheltered terrain, does that only work on resolve or wounds?
No, soaks it. Soaks it completely, mate. You're fine.
brilliant. Put that wound back. No, I didn't want that. I needed to take 1 wound.
Oh well. Right. Did anyone else get hurt?
It's a failure from me as well, yeah.
Tremendous. 1 wound for you.
Okay, that's alright, I'm still up.
I'm still ticking. Merlin.
Succeeded.
Tremendous. 2 resolve. And Rosie.
Standard success.
Okay, 2 resolve. As this thing smashes down into the ground and then starts like. I like the idea of it. You can see it arcing in and out of the pile, so like, it's longer than it ought to be, basically, and it surfaces. It's now time to hurt it. Chant, Elaine, CJ, you're up. Let's see if we can cause this thing some problems.
Can't believe that was the first entity turn.
Yeah, right.
That was catastrophic.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, Rosie, you just need to end it all now.
Yeah. Yeah. So Rosie's lost 5 wounds and 5 resolve in 1 turn. She's down to 2 resolve and 4 wounds. I'd like to think that is the biggest tank buster Rosie has essentially tried to sink.
Absolutely, yeah,
So far.
yeah.
But if I go first, I can use the ashes,
Great idea.
which feels like it would be a good thing to do in the final fight.
What do
Yes.
the ashes do?
So I think Rosie will sort of, bleeding and picking coins out of her wounds.
It's like, she's like pulling quids out your ears.
All right, I know your type. I don't know much, but I know your type. You're the big boss, ain't you? You're the one who tells everyone what to do. Well, problem is people don't like being told what to do. And here's a dose of some of your own people coming right back at you. And I'm just gonna yeet the full urn of ashes, which are, from what I remember, the sacrificed ashes of all of the people who were like up at the top of the food chain that were like being burnt and
Starved to
whatnot.
death.
So it's
Yeah.
so it's literally, here's the ashes of all the people you've exploited getting thrown right at your face.
Mhm.
And it should reduce all of the entity's defenses by 2.
Oh,
Or
wow.
it says reduce. Well,
Crumbs.
I haven't. The note here says reduce the entity's defense by 2. but I don't know.
I think you.
Oh, do we
one
pick
defense.
one? Which one's better, gang?
Well, there you
We
are.
are all standing right there in close.
That's his sheet. You can pick out whichever one you want.
Should we go for close? Do you think?
Sure.
Whatever you think's best, especially if you're hitting it with a bludgeon.
Yeah.
Sure.
Our tactic does
Let's-
seem to be mob up and close and then wail on it, so.
All right, let's
It could go to
reduce
range, but it
close.
seems cowardly.
Yeah, you reduce any of its defenses by 2. So we'll bring its.
Okay.
Can I write on my sheet? Let's see. We'll bring its close defense down to 8, which is actually pretty poor for a final boss. Okay, cool. So that was that was an action. No, I can't write on my sheet. But it's 8. Everyone remember it's 8.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I think I'll follow that up with a good old. Oh, do I guard though? I feel like I either start wailing on it, or I ready up so that I can tank some hits again. Considering how much damage this thing has done.
I would be tempted to say tank up simply because if Alexandra gets wailed on again.
Yeah.
Like,
I am
5 incoming wounds.
yeah. I am going to guard, so I'll restore 2 resolve. And then that'll be me. Rosie's ready for round 2 of punishment.
You get punched in the face again.
Yeah. And then at the end of my turn, I can claim a terrain token. I will claim one of these sheltered tokens.
Oh, for God's sake.
Just full on, like, lifting a chest of gold to hide behind.
It's holding it up in front of her face.
Brilliant.
I can't see you, you can't see me.
We're going to go for either CJ or Chunt now, whoever's feeling it.
I guess I'm happy to go.
Man, you're really regretting not bringing that first aid kit now, hey? Was it like just throwing it away for the Rowan route?
Literally, it's like up 1 level in the.
Maybe we could go back.
So I think that I'm going to start with I'm going to move first because if I succeed on an attack, I don't want to pile threat here. So for my maneuver, I'm going to move to flank left.
You move for free on a miss, don't you?
I move for free on a miss. Yeah.
Right. Cool.
If I miss this, I am going to move again.
Yeah. Okay.
I am moving into flank left, as it still has resolve. I don't need to worry about trying to make it bleeding, so I'm actually going to attack with the book.
Okay.
And that, let's see if I succeed. My book is Wise versus Weird.
So weird is 11.
Okay, and wise is also 11.
Okay. Close is 8. So if you, but you know what? Yeah. Let's use the book. Let's see if the book can't have a resurgence.
Alright, let's see what happens. Yeah, that is under both. I rolled a 1, actually.
Cool. Okay. So that's a standard success. That knocks off the last resolve and breaks the bishop. He doesn't have anything on break because he's nasty enough already. CJ, what does it look like?
So I think that what happens is Alexandra sidesteps to get out of the crowd of people and unlatches and pulls the book out of her book holster and opens it up. And unlike Merlin, who is purely scientific 90% of the time, this is all occult bullshit. Like, shadows start coming out of her like the last time she tried to use it, and they just lash out at the bishop. She looks fully like more gaunt, more weird, more unpleasant than normal.
Like a little bit of ectoplasm coming out of the eye.
Yes, it's just this sort of unpleasantness coming out of both her and the book. And because I have succeeded on a attack with the book, I'm looking for the actual ability, but I believe a hunter in my area or an adjacent area can focus as immediate action. So would anyone like a focus? Would this benefit? Who would this benefit the most?
You take it. I think.
Yeah, I was about to say I'd always like a focus, but you might as well have it because you can use it on defense and
it might keep you alive.
Like focus is useful for everyone.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that because I have a lot of cool things if I miss, but because I now have a lot of cool things if I miss, I'm succeeding. So I will take the focus. That was a maneuver and an action, and basically this shadow is just around Alexandra now, like sort of pulsating, trying to protect and also destroy.
Mr. Merlin.
I have an interesting rules question.
Mm-hmm.
The way focus works, so you can roll 2 dice. Must you pick the highest, or in a situation?
Pick either.
So if you do have a lot of stuff that keys off a miss, you can actually take a focus, and it gives you that choice to be like, oh, actually, I want to miss and do like a fainting attack almost.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
So last up, we have Mr. Merlin.
Indeed.
And this deliciously broken entity.
Yeah, you'd think it'd be tempting, wouldn't you?
Writhing in shadow.
But unfortunately, I do rather rely on Rosie being up and functioning to keep me alive. So, the sergeant is bleeding and bruised, and that's normal. The sergeant is usually
Fine.
bleeding and bruised.
He's
So
fine.
I'm just gonna slog through the coins past him and get to Rosie. And
The sergeant blindly discharging his shotgun into a pile of coins.
Yeah, it's just shooting it down.
Yeah.
Just trying to find it.
Elaine, I'm gonna fully give you the chance to veto this, but I'm gonna try and heal Elaine, and what I think that looks like with the book's remake ability now is a little bit of urgent repair work to the armor, which I think with the means of some alchemical preparations and a small hammer, maybe some rivets, might be fusing with Rosie's body. Obviously,
Yeah.
giving Elaine the chance to veto.
No, that's fun. I like it.
Nice. In that case, that's what we're doing. Let's see if it works. Roll wise. You'd think I'd be good at this. That is... yeah, that's a success. So that's 3 wounds restored to Rosie.
Let's go.
And 1 wound off you.
Rosie,
And 1 wound off me, yay.
Rosie feels strong. Flexing riveted steel on her bicep. It's like, let's go.
And then I'm gonna huddle behind Rosie and guard. And, you know, a lot of stuff does happen when I guard. Weeks have a focus.
Ah, you absolute star.
What else? I'm sure there's something else.
I think everyone recovers more resolve.
Yes.
But that triggers at the end of your turn.
CJ, how are you doing for resolve? Bad, right?
Broken, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm gonna drop 2 threat on our area.
Hmm.
Because man doing weird alchemy right in front of it apparently quite distracting. Or possibly just Rosie's armor now shines and looks valuable. I don't know.
Using some of the gold.
CJ 2 resolve restored for Alex.
Thank you.
Well, that is useful.
The scary shadows around her get stronger and more corporeal.
It's like a spirit bomb move over here, powering up.
I assume that's a Final Fantasy thing, so I'm just gonna say yes.
It's Dragon Ball Z, I think.
Someone has to rep all the weeps in the chat. I'm sorry.
That is the end of After the Monster. So we go to Chris's turn, but I'm gonna make an interrupt attack against all of you before that happens.
Cool, take 1 resolve.
Or you could not.
You're already broken.
I won't, mate.
You're broken. Brilliant. Stay broken.
Let's go for. So yes, I'm gonna cast Money Sink, which means I cast Money Sink. Do Money Sink, which means I eat both of those threat, and then I'm going to shift all of you. Shift all targets into an adjacent area.
This is a shift, not reposition, so I lose
That's
my
shift. You lose terrain. Yeah.
Or you lose terrain, yeah.
Yeah, you lose terrain on a shift. You keep it on a reposition as the floor drops out from underneath you, and you're forced to scrabble for cover. Now, Chris, it's your turn.
Brilliant. Brilliant. What am I going to do?
You can shoot it from here.
I am
legally.
I am actually going to. I'm going to shoot it with my pistol from here and use the focus.
Whoa! I forgot about pistols. Yeah.
The pistol
weapons.
The pistol only comes out for specific situations, and this is one of them.
The pistol, it feels excited in your hand.
I'll take the 9.
Cool. How many wounds did the pistol do?
Pistol does 1.
Okay, I thought you had some... Oh, it's a revolver, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a revolver, yes. So I use one of those, and I just need to check exactly which abilities can key off that, because most of my things are keyed off the shotgun.
The pistol says, "Yeah, I told you I could hit him!"
Oh, no, actually, sorry, I'm not taking the 9, I'm taking the 2. I want to do resolve damage. Oh, I can't do resolve damage.
Can't do resolve damage, right?
Oh, damn it. Well, the entire plan falls apart then. It takes 1 wound.
Yeah.
And then I use my maneuver to move back into front.
Okay, cool.
That's it.
It's now its turn. It's going to. So it gets 2 attacks. Now I have spread you out. It doesn't especially want you to spread out. So I'm going to spend my maneuver to shuffle you over here, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
I'm then going to drop on. I'm going to do liquid assets again. Oh, I can't do liquid assets again. Can't mark resolve. So I guess no, that's fine. Sorry, I just don't have any resolve to mark. I'm going to cast liquid assets again. So that's TN9 quick 3/3 to everyone in this area.
So did you say quick?
Yep, flank left.
No,
That's at 20.
I got 19.
3 wounds, Chant.
Mm,
That's the same for me, right?
I'm dying. I'm dying, lads.
Come on.
I got a 9, so I got a superior success.
So that's no damage whatsoever.
And on the plus side, you wounded me. And I have a loaded shotgun.
Oh, carry on.
13. Hitting its close defense.
Yeah, mate, it's close to 8.
Brilliant.
How many
Brilliant.
wounds? 3?
It takes 3 wounds from the solid shot I'm using.
Yeah.
I've wounded it, so I restore 2 resolve.
Okay.
And then I need to flip my token. And it's
You have to.
empty.
Okay. Chan, I'm gonna eat you.
I'm going to smoke you.
Oh wait, no, fuck, I can't. Damn it! Damn!
Okay.
Oh, it's only in front. I'm just gonna kill you normal then. To show you that Devour only works on front, which is a damn shame.
Haha.
So I'm going to instead do Thrash again. So it's TN 11 versus hard, and he will he drops on you like when you see a whale sort of breach and then smash down in sideways, drops on all of you. So that is TN 11 versus hard 2/3.
Do dying characters just get to roll normally, or do I just?
Yeah, I think so.
Fucking nice. That is versus hard. That's a fail.
Oh, dead ass, mate. You're off.
Oh, shit happens, innit?
Yeah.
Oh, was that sent to dying and then killed? So we didn't even get a chance to
Yeah.
get people up.
I knocked Shant down to dying and then did another attack.
2 attacks is
knocking it.
terrifying.
Okay. Well, hang on. Actually, hang on. No, sorry. I'm really wrong. That I don't know. You know, we haven't actually written what happens when you attack a dying hunter. I mean, presumably it kills them.
I mean, that would make sense.
Reasonable that it would, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So, next up.
Alexandra
Not
swears to go
again.
More corruption!
Yeah, D10, please.
Don't worry,
I'll-
Alexandra. I think
should we do it
Mr.
afterwards?
Merlin's immortal.
I'll roll.
Kill them all first.
Nice, 10. Chad, welcome aboard.
She looks
Good
over to
stuff.
Rosie and she goes, "We need him now."
CJ, did you take any damage?
Oh, sorry. This isn't the superior success that I just.
No,
had.
this is TN hard. TN 11 hard. 2/3.
Hard. Okay. That's a fail.
That is a fail. That's 3 damage.
Okay.
3 wounds even.
Wounds?
Yeah, you spent your focus to roll with advantage, right, CJ?
Oh shit! No, and that's what I'm gonna do because.
Okay.
Thank you for the reminder. Appreciate that.
It's all right.
Very much. Okay, because I did fail.
Get rid of your focus token.
Oh, CJ keeps them under the character.
Oh, okay.
That's the exact same fucking number. So I failed.
Well, you focused on 19.
Um,
You are down now, I presume. That is 3 wounds. Yeah.
I have resolved, but this is a wound damage thing. So
Yeah.
I am down. Yep.
Fuck.
So basically, she's busy. She's distracted, yelling at Rosie about Merlin dying, and then this thing just comes in and
Smashes into the. Yeah, cool. Okay. You know what?
Dropping like flies.
I made a conscious decision not to heal because it's really hard to heal, and I'm really glad that it's worked out for me. So that's my round over. Oh, I forgot to place threat last time.
Right.
And we'll put one up in the front as well. Why not? Right. So, entity turn is over. It's Elaine and CJ's go now. CJ, on your turn, you'll be rolling hard to not die.
Okay.
Please don't die.
Is there anything anyone can do to bring me up prior to my turn, or shall I roll?
Unless we can squeeze a spare maneuver out of Elaine, I don't think so.
I do have control, so I can. No.
Nope.
Wait.
Does that trigger guard?
In my area.
Well, that's doable. So, like,
you need to move twice to get there.
You could move twice, grant Chris a guard maneuver. He could get CJ back up.
I can grant reload, take cover, or move.
Oh.
So I can't grant a guard maneuver to an ally. So
damn.
I don't think I can help in this situation. I'm sorry, Rosie's too far away. The GM masterfully separated the tank from the party and then smooshed 2 party members.
To be honest,
Join me in the refuge.
you'd be waging a lot on trying to get Alexandra up to waste your entire. So, I'm not particularly upset by this. I know it's versus hard. What was the TM?
Just roll under your hard.
Just roll under my. Okay, we'll find out. That's a fail. Because my heart is 7.
All right, Rosie. Only 13 wounds to go.
5 corruption.
Yay!
You mark 5.
I like to think we arrive in the refuge at the same time and the butler's waiting with brandy.
And bandages.
Just like.
I like to imagine that that like Alexandra is almost too busy to go to bed at any point, even when she's died, and wakes up with a facial wound by the fireplace, having fallen asleep in some brandy.
That feels right. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
By the way, what is my at what point does something happen when your corruption reaches?
Every 10.
Okay, well,
So
I'm at
you're
11 just for the record.
Oh!
We can
Top
handle
draw.
that after the fight, but I'm
Yeah.
corruption.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Cool.
I don't think the fight's going to go on too much longer.
Well.
Who knows?
Well,
I think we'll see you
Chris.
soon.
So Elaine, you're up.
Concerned Rosie frowning. I think. Oh gosh.
Oh, actually,
I
sorry.
think
I'm gonna make an attack against you. Sorry.
Of course. Okay.
TN9 versus strong, please.
Strong.
One wound, please.
Those confidence noises. Okay. Down to 6 wounds.
Okay. 1 wound as the floor. The floor falls out from underneath you, and again you're impaled by a tiara of some sort. All right, Elaine.
So
now your turn.
What even is the point in these things? They're terrible. They make the rain off your head. Oh god. I think if we're going to have any hope of ending this, we just have to start wailing on this thing as much and as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm.
We need to basically drop 13 wounds before he hits us.
Yeah, before it
So,
gets
we can't, but we need to do as much as we can.
So let's
I believe in
go.
you.
I am going to use the wonderful new ability that I just picked up for my bludgeon, Heartless.
Heartless.
I can mark 1 resolve and gain +1 to my attack damage. So mark 1 resolve.
Is that 1/1 or just 1 resolve? One
+1 +0.
Okay. So in which case he doesn't have any resolve, so that won't.
Oh, it doesn't have any. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, then
bludgeon's
let's
about
not
breaking
do
edges.
that. let's not do that then. And gosh, do I focus and then attack? I think I should focus and then attack, right?
Good crit vision.
We need to try and
Come on, Rosie. Wait.
zooms in on the dice.
Yeah, you third.
Okay. So my 13 will be a superior success.
Cool. Okay. Then that is that's what's that? 2 wounds. 2
wounds. Yeah.
Cool. Yes, you smash down at the dragon. You hear a crunch as not unlike hitting a bag full of coins, and the beast cries out in pain. It's now Chris's go again.
Cool. So first maneuver.
I'm going to make an attack against you.
Yeah. I'll let you finish.
At the end of my turn, I'm just going to take a turn attack as I do.
Oh, very, very sensible. Chris, that is. You got focus?
No.
Okay. TN9 strong 2-1.
Strong, do you say?
Yes.
Fail.
1 wound, please. Okay, you're up.
Cool. I'm going to reload.
Right.
Which means that this is a 1/1 attack, which hits 10. Is that? I mean.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Just 1 wound.
Wounds. Yeah.
Wounds. Cool. And then the shotgun needs to go off, and it needs to hurt him. It technically does.
Yes. 3.
Yeah. So it's 3. And I wounded. Oh, I can't get any more resolve back.
Oh, you're full.
Yeah. I've lost 6 wounds, but full resolve.
Oh, great.
And unfortunately, that's it. But I do need to see if I can flip you. Just there we go. Shotgun's still loaded.
The pair of you smash this thing and discharge a shotgun into it, and it starts spiraling up in the air. And it's now its turn.
Didn't want that. I hit it, so it should get.
Oh yes, of course.
On me.
And one for Elaine too. Cool. I'm going to try and eat you. Let's go. Chris, shift you to the front.
Yep.
Spend this 1 threat to increase my TN. And then it is TN 8 versus strong.
Hate strong. Success.
Damn it! 3 resolve.
Yeah, whatever.
As it closes its mouth around you. Sorry, it doesn't close its mouth around you because you didn't take wounds.
Shotgun my way out.
It's true. That's true. Yeah.
The shotgun's good as a door lock.
That's just what I wanted. Door opener, I believe, is the phrase. It snaps its jaws shut, and you scramble out at the last second. It's then going to make another attack against you. TN 11 hard 2-3, please.
I'm sorry.
Chris.
No.
3 wounds.
Super fail.
3 wounds.
That's all mine.
You do get to make an attack, though.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, why
not? Standard success, 3 wounds.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. And my shotgun is empty. How many wounds do you do?
Elaine,
yeah.
Yeah, 2.
2. We need to take on. You'll take down 4 wounds.
I think that's right. Yeah, 4 wounds. That's 7. I think. Hang on. I think we're down to 3.
Well, still 1 more than you can do in a turn.
We might be able to do this, though. We might be able to do this.
All right. I really wish.
Your heroes just for 1 day.
You're dying now, Chris, right?
Yeah.
Crap. We might not.
Right.
It's literally just you. That's why I'm saying you need to do this amount of wounds.
Okay, Elaine.
Okay.
Oh, I placed through it.
Well, that's good.
Okay, beautiful. So I'm already sheltered. I'm already ready. There's nothing really more for it than just to focus and try and go for the crit.
I'm just going to throw out the fact that if you use a guard maneuver on me, I come back to life. I don't know if that's useful. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I cannot give you.
That's Rosie's whole turn.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not a great option. I'm saying it's there.
And yeah,
You might last
I could
another
get
round.
to you-
Who knows?
I could get to you and get you up, but then we'd both be standing in the same area with threat, and this thing
Yeah,
seems
yeah,
quite like when
absolutely.
people are grouped up. So I feel like it might just be the focus crit fish in an attempt to do the thing.
Mm,
10% chance of a crit, right?
sure, if that's how
With
math
focus.
works.
That's probability on, because there's 5% chance of hitting
Yeah.
any single number on a d20.
10%
so
chance
if
of a crit.
Okay, we're looking for 14 for Rosie to get a crit. Come on. No, okay, well, I'll take the. That's fine. I'll take
One
the
wound left.
success. One wound left. That's fine.
Chris.
You just need to not kill us.
Chris,
Mm,
roll hard.
2. Success.
Oh, great. I'm going to make an attack against Elaine.
No,
There.
don't do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I'm sporting of you.
Yeah, because I'm going to eat you next turn.
Yeah.
So that is nope. TN9 strong 2-1, please, Elaine.
TN9.
Oh, you've got loads of wounds left. You're fine.
Critical success.
Ah,
Let's
fucking
go.
hell. Right,
Come
my turn.
on.
Chris, I'm going to eat you now.
And now is it your turn?
Oh, it's your turn. Well, so you rolled hard to. stay
Oh,
alive.
that was sorry. I didn't realize that was we'd gone through that as my turn. Sorry. Yeah.
Broadly.
Carry on.
It is my turn. I'm going to try and eat you. We're going to go for TN8 versus strong.
Stop using strong, asshole. 20. Another dead
Don't
hunter.
worry. We've got a hot toddy waiting.
Come on,
I can't do
Elaine.
this. I can't do this.
You literally
I'm gonna
better.
fail.
There
I'm
is
gonna
a
fail.
as the sergeant. I don't know. Like, does the sergeant just sit there and like crawl away? Sorry, does the sergeant just sit there and take it, or is he like crawling away? What's the deal?
I think he gets like smacked off into the darkness.
Oh no, sorry, he gets eaten.
Oh, he gets eaten. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, which is
Well,
why
then I don't sit anywhere.
My heel. Yeah. Okay. Cool. In which case, the sergeant pulls himself up to try and kick this thing as he dies, and it smashes down into him. There's a horrible crunch of bone and the sound of a shotgun being chewed up.
Just randomly discharging.
As this thing heals 6 fucking resolve.
No. Come on.
Now,
If you hit it and wound it, you win.
I'm going to make a
Yeah.
second attack against you, Elaine. So that is, we'll go for Thrash, TN11 hard, 2-3.
That's a success.
2 resolve. Minus
Two
1.
resolve.
Minus 1 for you.
Well,
Sheltered.
I because of the way I.
Oh,
work,
yeah,
I
none.
Discard sheltered, so you destroy the terrain that I was hiding behind. And I take no damage.
It smashes down into you. You can see the sergeant's blood glistening on his big ragged lips. I place some more threat. I guess I don't really need to.
Who's making that one wound token bigger and bigger?
It's a very important
know who.
wound.
No pressure.
Who's on here? There we go. Right. So, Elaine, it's your go.
I need like some kind of
Well, like,
energy, some
hang
kind
on,
of prayer.
Your stat. What's your stat? 12.
My strong is 14.
Okay, so you've got to roll an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, or 14, and it's dead.
Oh, do you do when? I thought you only broke through resolve if you got a crit.
No, on a superior success,
Oh.
you bypass.
So you
So,
win
okay.
damage.
Okay. This
Focus.
is fine. Focus, Rosie. Come on. You got this.
Very
this.
important. Zoom in on these dice.
Is that it?
Close
I mean-
Steph is 8.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
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 I took some maths to sort of sit there and look at it.
Yeah.
I actually did it.
It took a second
Yeah.
to just be like, wait, that's a really fucking important rule. Oh my god.
it rears its head up at you, and then what do you do?
Oh my god. Rosie's the last one left. This is the worst. All her friends are dead.
For a bit.
For a
Ish.
bit. Yeah. I think it rears up and Rosie just kind of like spits in its face. It's just like, right, enough of you, enough of this. I'm going home. And then wham. One
Like,
big
right on the bishop's head rather than the dragon's
yeah.
head.
On the bishop itself, the weedy little parasite who sucked all of the gold and life from their congregation and became corrupted by it, laid low by
There.
the workers of the world.
Yeah. There is a tremendous rush of power. I'm going to see how I actually described the hollow closing. In fact, actually, sorry. What I would like to do is all the dead players, please describe how the hollow closes. We'll start with CJ. What happens when this thing runs out of power?
You're muted.
Not making any noise.
Oh, without necessarily the power, but the visual I sort of picture, at least at the end of this hollow wrapping up and closing, is sort of the after effects of a nuke going off. Not necessarily the actual power of it and destroying things and pushing and stuff, but the visual of just whoosh,
Or that like woomph shockwave, not explosion.
yes, yeah,
Right.
the shockwave of it. So I guess I'm sort of adding on to the end rather than the beginning, but that's visually that's how I kind of picture this dispersing.
Okay,
before
cool.
that, what else happens, everyone?
So I think that Rowan tree that we found the roots of starts rapidly growing now that this hoard of coins has been
That's
moved
fun.
off it.
Yeah.
It starts expanding out and growing and blooming and blossoming and starts bringing life, like actual healthy life, back to this area. Grows tall enough, maybe even that it pierces some of that cloud cover above and starts
That's
setting
pleasing.
sun.
Yeah.
Like
Is
the roots growing through the priory and like displacing bricks out the way and things like that.
Is it golden like the root, or is it tree like a tree?
Oh, I think it's fully tree-like.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. This starts growing up, and you can see that like the dragon part of the bishop is trying to crawl away, and it gets absolutely just fucking ransacked by these roots going through it, and twisted and desiccated as the tree, this tree hungry for power, draws the blood out of it. Chris, anything you want to add?
Oh, I think that's a great description of what happens, honestly.
Okay. Now, I believe it's probably a sensible idea for Rosie to spend one bone. Oh, by the way, sorry, you get 4 bone, which is nice. You get 1 heart, which we will say is the bishop's. Like the heart, the heart actually rippable out of the bishop's chest, and it's like, you know how like you know when you see like a really diseased heart and it looks all black, like that, but onyx shot through with gold. And it's like it's much like with CJ's like wave of force. You can feel that wave of force building in it. I like that same sort of energy. By expending 1 bone, you can come back into the refuge before this whole thing explodes.
Rosie's just panicked, like, how did we do this? How did we do this?
Yeah. How does Rosie get into the refuge? I'm interested.
So all this is happening. The Rowan roots are like ripping this thing apart. Rosie's got the heart, and it's like, yeah. Oh no, is the pain is starting, and it's like, oh right, pocket the heart. How did Weeks do this? And like running and just looking for anything, and seeing like tumbling in amongst all of these, like this dragon's hoard of treasure. Just seeing this like almost like a gothic dresser, like a clothing dresser,
like a wardrobe.
Yeah, a wardrobe, and like running after it, as it's tumbling away, just running after it, like, come on, like, stop this thing, put the key in, and then slam the door open and just leap through as this mountain, this Scrooge McDuck's tidal wave of gold and explosions just obliterates everything in her wake. I think is suitably epic.
The other three of you come to as the ceiling as Rosie bursts out of a wardrobe in the bedroom, followed by about, I'm going to say, 350 pounds in loose coins, and rolls on the ground, clutching the heart proudly in her hand. And
I got it.
And that is Grisham Priory. Congratulations, everyone! I honestly didn't think you were going to pull that one off.
No, neither did we.
Rosie, unstoppable.
Do we have
Good.
time and energy to do the corruption bit? Because
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Ooh,
to
yeah.
know.
I will also say, everyone. So, of the three abilities that you've picked over the course of this adventure, you will choose one and make it permanent. Killing the Lord bakes that in. And lets you, unless you carry that around, so you'll start every adventure with that rather than even if you swap out weapons later on, which is neat. But for corruption, Chant and CJ, you both get one.
Yeah, we do.
I also got dead. Do you want me to roll a d10?
Yeah, please do. I think you
I love
did. You
that
mark.
Rosie is our pure, indomitable spirit still.
Yeah.
She needs a lot of corruption before she slowly loses faith in everything and everyone.
Did you start with any corruption, Chris?
Yes, I'm now up to 7.
Okay. Well, can I get a d6 off both CJ and Chant, please?
There are cast dice on the table, which are d6s.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I literally just started looking for a physical die and then went, no. All
That's a
right.
4 for me.
I'll be honest with you. I've seen rollier rolls. Yeah, let's try again.
1 for
1.
me.
So that is another weapon for you, Chant.
Hey.
And your seed, CJ. Delightful news. So we'll go with Chant first. Give me a d20 plus 2, please.
So yes, sir. That's 4. Oh no.
It was your brother, the effigy, right? Or like a sort of rough approximation of your brother.
Yeah.
You will have it like as you're recuperating after the hollow and sort of putting together another first aid pack or what have you. You look down and you receive the book Scar. You are merely a chapter in a greater story. You take -1 hard.
It barely matters.
It's a bane. Yeah, it's true. It's a bane. Your skin becomes parchment dry, and words bloom from beneath it, swimming to the surface, speaking knowledge untold in bruise and blister. Exposed skin quickly reddens and cracks to become illegible, as if afraid of prying eyes. And your the simulacra is the plural, isn't it? What's the singular? The simulacrum of your brother arrives and says, "I told you not to let it happen again," and winks out of existence behind you. So yes, now you have. It doesn't affect you in the real world, but whenever you go into a hollow, your skin immediately starts blooming words.
Oh, that's cool.
It's pretty cool, and it
Real
makes you.
good.
And it might reduce your overall wounds. I don't know.
It's possible. Yeah.
Now, CJ. Give me a d20, please.
Sure. That will be 1.
Intrusion. Bane. The worst day of your life is broadcast for everyone to suffer through. And so this would kick in the next adventure, but we'll read through to...
Don't worry, it will.
Oh yeah, it's true. Well, this is an interesting thing. Basically, while in the exploration phase, the GM should introduce the effect of this echo. Locations, people, and events related to your seed begin to encroach on the personal hell into which you have delved. The GM should choose, depending on the fiction, increase the TNs of all exploration actions until the next hunt by 2, or introduce a new hazard which must be overcome to progress with appropriate stats. An example we've got here is cannon fire from the battery that wiped out your regiment smashes into the mud. The land begins to roll and tilt like the deck of the ship where you killed your brother. or eye-stinging runes written in your hand crawl and skitter across every surface. Now, the next hollow you fight in will take place in your seed. So I think we might get double boyfriends. I don't know how that's going to work.
And I'm just going to throw it out there. Just roll it again.
Oh yeah,
because if nothing else, we've just previewed one of the corruption results.
Yeah, broadly. If you that's the like it's seed. So like seed is rigged basically. So you roll intrusion for the first few times, and then it goes up to wanderer, and then so like wanderer is someone arrives as so I'd spawn another thrall in the encounter, and then my favorite one is parasite, which is basically your boyfriend rides the entity.
Well, that's interesting.
And which I guess would be your boyfriend.
Double boyfriend.
Very narcissistic.
Double boyfriend.
Well, we get there, I guess.
Kind of hot. Yes. Broadly, mechanically, this will increase the TNs of all the hazards you do as you come in to your next fight. So we'll make it particularly exciting when you're running through, and it would be really sort of poignant and underpinning Alexander's tragic backstory if we weren't fighting our next adventure in Alexander's tragic backstory.
It's true. I don't know. We'll find a way to still make it terrible. But
We'll work it out.
I made a little intrusion bane note on Alexandra's character sheet.
I think there's room for this to be really interesting, right? Because the next hollow is Alexandra's ex's vision of Alex's family home. And now it's going to be overwritten with Alexandra's idea of Alexandra's family home.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. You can get some clashing. I like that. Shall we wrap it up?
Yeah.
When you get 10 corruption, what happens?
Oh, when you get 10 corruption, you mark 1 corruption echo, which is the thing you got. The bane you just got, and then you clear 10, corruption from your character. So cool. Every 10 it builds up and bursts. And I will also say, if you wish to build a garden, you can suppress by spending a refuge action. You can suppress 1 negative bane effect each. So Chant, you could get over your hard thing, and CJ, you could maybe calm your nerves by gently doing some gardening. But probably more interesting just to have it happen, hey?
True, but at the same time, I think Rosie should get her garden.
Well, yeah, it would be nice to have. Imagine with a little watering can.
Maybe she just managed to come away with, one of those little Rowan seeds, little baby glowing Rowan tree bonsai.
She'll definitely not take over one of the wings of the library.
Fine.
There's a greenhouse that's just going to start busting through the top of the greenhouse.
So that was
under control.
That was Grisham Priory. Thank you for coming along with us and watching it. I had a delightful time. I really thought I could have taken you down, you bastards. This time
we got lucky.
Yeah, you got lucky. However, thank you all for playing. Thank you all for contributing so many nice details and so many wonderful wounding hits on my monsters. If you, viewer, have come all the way with us, please, you know where the quick start is by now. You've already checked that out, but I would encourage you to come to our Discord. I'm sure if you ask around, someone will have a link somewhere. And we are currently, so there are people developing their own weapons for Hollows. There are people writing their own adventures and their own entities. We're in a really exciting space on the Discord, and we haven't even finished the crowdfunder yet. So please, if you want to be part of Hollows, if you're excited, come along and take part, because people are doing fun things with it already. I think that's pretty much us. Thank you for backing the Backerkit, you viewer, because you must have done,
which you have done
by now.
And if you didn't, Pledge Manager's probably open.
Yeah, but there's no way you didn't, and you're watching this live.
Yeah, no.
So we love you in a purely monetary. No, we love you in a kind of a half monetary, half community fashion.
We love you like a bishop loves gold.
Yeah, we love you.
I love you.
To us, you are a silk dressing gown stapled around our golden bulk. You take us out, CJ?
I think you covered most of it, if we're being fully honest.
I have to say.
Thanks
Okay.
everyone for being here. Thank you, Chant, Elaine, and Chris, and thank you especially for GMing us, Grant. Thanks, Sam, for the lovely art, and thank you all for being here and watching. And if you want to continue to follow rrdgames.com/follows, there's still stuff that will be coming out. Not Backerkit stuff, but maybe blogs, maybe another
Stuff.
follow.
Things.
And
Thanks.
news. And then eventually there will also be the sweet
Physical book.
physical
The game.
book. So thank you all for being here. We'll see you again soon, and you have a lovely evening, day, morning, afternoon, whatever is happening for you right now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
My name is Grant Howitt, and this is Hollows. Hollows is a monster hunting tabletop role-playing game with the best tactical combat system you've ever seen. You play as hunters. You invade other people's personal hells and murder their inner demons. You've got the seed of one of these hells inside of you, but you've also got weapons. Pistols and shotguns, swords and spears, books and armor. Your chosen weapons define how your character fights, and you'll need to master them and combine their abilities in creative ways to overcome the nightmares you face. So, gather your allies and slice through the fabric between worlds to dive into hell. Explore the ghost stories, allegorical landscapes, and tragic histories that await you. Hunt down the Lord at its heart and lay them to rest with blade and bullet, to put an end to their cancerous pocket dimensions for good. Whether you're sneaking through a trap-filled warehouse, outrunning a wall of screaming fire, or trying to hit a towering entity, the core mechanic of Hollows is the same. You roll a single d20 and try to roll under one of your stats. Strong, hard, quick, sharp, or wise. If you roll under your stat, you succeed. And if you roll the exact same number as your stat, you get a critical success. However, if you roll over your stat, you fail. In practice, this means that the higher your stat, the more likely you are to succeed. But even with a low stat, there's always a chance at success and failure. The GM will also give you a specific target number to aim for, representing the difficulty of what you're trying to achieve. In combat, this is normally one of the entity's 3 defenses: close, ranged, or weird. If your successful roll lands in the sweet spot under your stat and matching or beating the target number, you gain a superior success. Superior successes are not quite as powerful as a critical success, but they are much easier to land and often trigger special effects from your abilities. As you increase your stats, or use clever tricks and tactics to lower the target number or roll more dice, you increase the range and frequency of your superior successes, turning the odds in your favour. That's the core mechanic for Hollows. Let's talk about what an average game looks like. Gameplay in Hollows is divided into 3 main phases: exploration, combat, and recovery. Exploration in Hollows is your classic theatre of the mind role-playing game. You delve into this strange otherworld to uncover the story of the Lord that sits at the heart of the Hollow. You're exploring and you're role-playing with your party. You're getting to understand what's happened and you're finding relics that are going to help you out, deciding whether to pick up new abilities and draw attention to yourself, or to rush to the final boss and kill it quick, and deciding whether to defeat the Lord or to try and save them from their torment. Saving them, of course, is significantly more difficult. When you encounter a monster, the whole game flips over to become a 1 versus many adversarial tactical game. Each Hollows fight is designed to take around 60 to 90 minutes, so you can have a few in a session. We use this targeting grid, which puts the monster, the entity, at the centre, because what matters most is where you all are in relation to the monster, not where it is in relation to everything else. It's similar to lock-on targeting, found in many video games, recreated on the tabletop. Each hunter has 2 weapons, and they give access to a bunch of different abilities. Some weapons like the knife let you be quick and high damaging, encouraging you to move around the grid to get the jump on the enemy. Weapons like the armor are slow and soak damage to let you tank. Other weapons, like the book, get a bit more complex and interact with the monster or the environment in advanced ways. Choose your weapons wisely and combine their abilities to create unique combos for yourself and your fellow hunters. A round of combat in Hollows is quick fire and the state of the game changes constantly. On your turn, you can take 2 actions, an attack and a maneuver, or 2 maneuvers if you're trying to get yourself set up for something clever. Maneuvers cover anything that's not an attack, like aiming, taking cover, moving across the grid, reloading your weapons, or catching your breath and recovering. Attacks use one of your 2 weapons. As mentioned before, you'll be using the core mechanic to roll a d20 and try to beat the entity's defense and get as close as possible to your stat without going over. The weapons you use define what stat you attack with, which zones you can attack from, and which of the entity's defenses you target. An entity like the Hound has a very high range defense of 12, but a close defense of 9, meaning that it has a much easier time dodging your ranged attacks. You'll need to get in close, or find another way to lower its defense if you want to deal more than glancing blows. Each fight is designed to get you thinking about clever combos between not just your own abilities, but also throughout the whole party. Those combos build over time too. Each fight you win, you get to pick a new ability to add to your sheet, but most are temporary till the end of the Hollow. At the end of that adventure, you can pick one of the abilities you've unlocked and make it permanent. It sticks around even if you change weapons later on, meaning you can make your own powerful builds over time. But enough about players. Let's talk about those monsters, and why GMing Hollows is about as much fun as playing it. Every entity has all the mechanical pieces you'd expect. They all have defenses, attacks and maneuvers, they all have health, and so on. Each of these are unique and offer tactical challenges for your players to overcome. But that's only the beginning of what makes GMing Hollows monsters special. Firstly, you get to play with threat. Threat represents the entity's attention and intent, and you place it on the grid at the end of your turn and whenever a player lands a hit on you. You spend it in one of 2 ways, either to enhance your attacks or to make actions when it's not your turn, called interrupts. Every entity has unique interrupts and they all shake up the fight in unexpected ways. It's a bit like aggro or telegraphed attacks you'd find in video games. You can either save it to build the tension as you power up a big attack, or spend it to counter your players' attacks just when they're starting to feel too confident. Speaking of overconfidence, during the exploration phase, your players may have inadvertently caused the entity's doom to increase, most often by failing tests. As an entity accumulates doom, it gains new and deadly abilities. Even when the entities are losing hard, you still get to have some fun. Most entities have a unique ability which triggers when they take a lot of damage and is first broken. Think of breaking like entering a second phase in a boss fight. The entity gets to make a big attack, gain a new ability, or change how it fights. There's a lot of inspiration here from MMORPGs with huge set-piece combats. We've got monsters that light up the grid with threat and slowly spin to create areas hunters have to avoid. Others that tie characters together with needles and string to slow them down. And even one that summons a train through the grid to take hunters down with massive damage. And what if you lose? Well, the game is not meant to be easy. It's meant to be very hard. Each fight balances on a knife edge between victory and defeat. The GM has tools to dial difficulty up and down, as do players if they want to. But most importantly, if a hunter dies, they gain corruption, which makes them stronger, unlocks new ways to play, and also incidentally brings them closer to the grand malignancies, the dark gods that rule the Isles and warp its people. If you're the kind of GM who's always wanted to TPK your players, this is your moment to shine. Not only is it one of you versus 4 or so of them, but also you're actively encouraged to make the monster as hard as possible to kill. You can get out all those miniatures from other games, create a horror story around one of them, stick it in the centre of this grid, and try really hard to defeat your players in a game of skill, tactics, and luck, knowing that whoever wins, the player characters get stronger, just in different ways. Once the boss is defeated, the Hollow ends, and you get to go back to your refuge, a sort of interdimensional sanctuary that's open just to you and your mates. You can rest and recover there, but you can also use the materials you've brought back from your exploits to upgrade your home and unlock new abilities, from better weapons to new ways to reduce corruption and more. This is also the place other characters might come to call home. The lords you've saved from their torment, now shells of their former selves, burdened with regret and committed to helping put the world to rights alongside you. And that's your mission as hunters. Your benefactors keep feeding you with enough cash to survive, and a steady stream of new hollows that need your attention. There's a wider world, cities, forests, the people who work the fields, the crown clinging to power, the pig preachers with their religion of rot, the normal people who don't hunt and can't see the peril the Isles are really in. Eventually, over a campaign, you might manage to do real damage to the malignancies, to turn the tide against them. Or you might succumb to the malignancies yourself, turning inwards, rotting like a peach till you sit monstrous at the centre of your own hollow, waiting for your friends to come and kill you. It's up to you. If you want to see Hollows in play, you can go to our YouTube channel and watch some of us fight through the Sins of Grisham Priory, our quick start campaign. Or download it and have a go yourself. Good luck, Hunter.